Hi, the stream is about to start, but for those of you who are new to us, here's a quick recap of the setting this game takes place in, and the story so far. There exist in this world thousands of individual realms, some as small as a room, others the size of entire galaxies. Each realm is unique, and many realms, though not all, are connected through rifts and portals in what is known as the axis of realms. Every 13 years or so, the axis reconfigures itself. New realms connect in new arrangements, and some realms disappear from the axis entirely. One realm, however, has been able to maintain relatively stable connections. That realm is where our adventure starts, the capital of the Axis, Aximundi. Our players find themselves brought together by the tides of fate as they travel through Aximundi and perhaps even realms beyond. The player characters that you'll be meeting in this campaign are Devon, a bard with golden hair and silver tongue who travels through the realms trying to make a name for himself. Before he took up the role of wandering bard, Devon belonged to a pirate crew who shared many a tale and even a secret or two with him in years past. Then there's Jacob, a smuggler with a mind of his own and a drive to find his place in the world. Despite his habit of solving problems with his fists, he generally prefers a life of peace and solitude, ideally with a pocket full of coin to keep him company. Lastly, Temerity, a roguish fighter with street smarts and friends in low places and enemies all around. Following a botched attempt at his assassination, he is determined to find out whether one of his foes just got lucky, or one of his friends has turned traitor. Either way, revenge is top of his mind. I'm Michael, your DM for this campaign, and this is the Axis of Realms. And here's what's happened so far in this chapter. The party began their adventure in the port town of Haven. While there, the adventurers have battled bandits, parleyed with forest spirits, and befriended a wealthy gnome, Calbor of Nim, who has commissioned them to escort him to Aximundi City, the most important city in all of the realms. The party planned to get there by taking a portal from the nearby town of Rhyll, on the way to which they encountered a mighty devil by the name of Lord Ursh, who along with his herald Brick demanded that Jacob forgive him, but for what he did not know. As they continued to Rhyll, the party stopped by Calbor the gnome's vineyard, discovering it to be infested with shadow creatures. In the process of defeating the fiends, the party played champion to a nearby orphanage that was similarly affected by demonic forces. There they befriended the fierce matriarch Elethria and the beautiful young Melody, who the party learned was gifted with the power of prescience and could read people's souls. Now the party continued to Rhyll and from there on to Aximundi. So, join myself, Angus, Carl and Deslin as we proceed on the Axis adventures. Hi, the stream. Now, hello, any and all. We should now be live. I'm here with Angus, Deslin, and Carl, who is slightly ill, so apologies for that. I may also be ill, so you have an extra nasally DM today.
Well, ill on the inside, am I right?
And apparently Desolate is in one of those moods, so
yes.
be prepared.
It'll be a fun session.
So, session 13 of our campaign continues. Let me put...
Oh no, that's not a good number.
Michael, it's going across that there's a test donation coming across the ticker on the stream.
Well, that just confirms that the widget works.
It does.
I will just block out the ticker until I can fix that. So, yes, session 13. Yeah, if anything else breaks, just let me know. So, last session in the Axis Adventures, the party said goodbye to the orphanage Helethria and Melody and carried on their way eastward in their role of escort to Calbor of Nim, taking him to Rhyll with the aim of, from there, going on to Aximundi City via the portal that is to be found in Rhyll. The party decided to ignore multiple points of interest and plot hooks, and instead stayed on the main road, heading eastward at a good pace. The road to Rhyll initially was very nice and light and well patrolled, but it took them through a dense and ancient forest in which they encountered a strange old woman, who took time to inform them that the road ahead was flooded and closed, and that they should instead go through the thick ancient forest in a vague direction towards Rhyll. Ever distrusting of the elderly, the party carried on regardless and found little in the way of flooding.
For good cause!
But off in the forest, I think it was Jacob, who scary things always seem to happen to for some reason, saw a mysterious form that was seemingly humanoid but not quite, and it walked off into the forest. As the party entered the deepest and most ancient aspect of the forest, they noticed a noise following them, a bird song, at first at least, which soon turned into a strange call from something. They picked up their pace, and the calls came closer and became more frequent. They were, in short, being chased, as I think Devon exclaimed. When they dared to look back, the party saw a large being with a formless black body and a white skull of a deer with antlers in the middle of its form. The party ran, with Calbor, unfortunately, and his tiny gnome legs being unable to keep up, falling behind. He was rescued promptly by Jacob, just in time, and as the party left the forest, they turned back to see that the same shapeless being from earlier was standing in the shadow of the trees along this ancient path, but now it looked almost as if it were a little old lady. The forest lies behind them, the moon is high in the sky, and Rhyll is up ahead, and that is where the session starts today.
And Jacob's pants are slightly heavier.
Yes, that also.
Aggressively written "old woman" in my notebook and underlined it.
And when the police find that, you will have some explaining to do.
Old woman.
Must kill old woman. Yeah. Maybe it's just like my general location in the world, but when you describe this monster, I'm either thinking a Wendigo or like a skinwalker. Oh, that's pretty atypical for skinwalker behavior. But
No
still.
comment.
It could just be a druid.
Yeah, it could be an evil fucked up druid, sure. It's essentially what a skinwalker is if you think about it.
So you find yourselves panting, out of breath but relieved at the shape, creature, whatever it is, has turned and is heading back into the forest. What
A
Man, the
mage
country's
hand,
fucked up.
a middle finger at the old woman as we walk away.
What is it with this area, man?
I don't know. It seems like purposely designed to scare the shit out of you.
What?
Seems rather effective, if nothing else.
Designed by who?
I don't know. Pick a religion. They all have explanations.
I choose not to.
Yeah, right.
You know, I've seen a decent amount of relatively fucked up shit in my time, but I have to say the last couple of days have been particularly fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
Two independent
Right.
and presumably unrelated fucked up events in quick succession.
Well, I mean, if you're traveling by sea, there's large periods of time where you're not being attacked by like a kraken or something. Is there anything to do? Land travel's a bit more bombastic, apparently.
Clearly.
You should travel in the city. It takes like forever to get anywhere.
But not fucking seas.
Traffic is awful.
Crowds are better in taverns and stuff, but the rest of cities are not particularly a fan of.
Cabo?
I'll be honest, I'm rapidly going off the woods as well, to be honest.
I'm gonna put Cabo down.
He's
No.
just been clinging on to you this whole time.
If that is your real name.
Cabo?
You
okay?
Oh, thank God. We're out of that dreadful forest.
Yeah.
You came back for me.
Oh. You owe me gold.
Yes, of course.
And more now. Life saving is a premium.
Well, let's not discuss contract matters here. It's
Sure.
cold, and I'm rather shaken.
And
Were the woods that we've just come out of Archer's Woods? Do Archer's Woods span the distance between Haven and Rhyll? Okay.
A big chunk of the way.
Angry Forest.
So Archer's Woods is the bit between Brigand Bog and Rhyll. The bit that you've come through is the little forest, which doesn't really have a name, but is kind of broken off from Archer's Woods. Yeah, there. Yeah, this map is also already out of date.
I might be developing some new phobias as of late.
Old women in the woods? Yeah, check. Done.
Forest, darkness,
Forests in general, yeah.
vineyards, barns.
No.
Any structure or item.
Sewers, orphanages, children.
Bathrooms.
You know what all those
sewers.
things have in common? Wood. Probably be terrified of wood. That'll make your life really easy.
Just bring Vlam in, he'll fix everything. So, up ahead of you are the twinkling lights. It is now properly late, but it is autumn. So by properly late, I mean it's 8 p.m.-ish. You're very close to Rhyll now. It's like in front of you, more or less. 10-minute, 15-minute walk if you keep up a good pace. So what you know about Rhyll?
There's a tower.
Yes, there. You know for certain there's a wizard there. Along the way, Calbor fills you in on some of the information around it. He doesn't know much because he's, usually completely uninformed about everything that isn't him. But he knows that it's a market town. It's one of the bigger local towns. Lots of farmlands around here. Traders come and go. In fact, trading is one of the main lifebloods of the area, hence the road. And you see it up ahead of you. It's gated. It has a old but serviceable looking wall around the perimeter. And to the west of the town, you see... Hold on. I think I put it into Roll20, did I? No, I didn't. To the west of the town, I was trying to create a handout while talking. I'm also in the wrong bloody screen. Thank you, music, for giving me... Where's my cursor gone? Oh my god, this is horrible. My mouse cursor has disappeared, but I can do it. So,
Quick, panic.
To the west of the town, you find... it's actually surprisingly difficult to do without a mouse cursor. That there is a river flowing, which isn't visible on the large map, flowing southward and westward, joining up with the southern coast. And you can see from your approach as you're coming in that there is a steeple of a church and a tall wizard's tower in more or less the centre of the town, propping up above the walls.
Well, it's a good thing this town is walled. Walled off, I mean. If things like that are in the woods.
Well, who knows what's in the town proper?
You don't reckon they're trying to keep things in? Don't scare me again.
Well, it looks like you could always dive in the river, assuming there's not a monster in there. But yeah,
Oh, there's monsters everywhere, but it looks.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you're heading towards Rhyll itself.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. Aside from an inn, I think our other objective is the wizard's tower.
Okay. Yeah. And you know from I think speaking to the deacon and also the letters you found that the wizard is one Isambard Felric. Okay,
So imagine he's using the corpses from the
Have
castle.
we haven't told Calbor about what we found under the sewers yet, have we?
No, as far as he knows, you disappeared, you killed some bad things, fixed the problem, went to stay at his house to check it, and then you departed the next day.
Speaking of disappearing, Tamari's gonna follow along. I need to go do something real quick.
Okay, so you approach the southwestern gate of Rhyll, and as I say, there's a wide and slow river on your left as you approach, and farmland stretching out to your right. And it being a autumn evening, a light, chill breeze and a pale moonlight surround you. It's around 8:20 when you reach the gate. There's a guard carrying a hooded lantern, very similar to the ones that you have. He gives you a look over, and kind of waves you through. It's not too late. It's not too suspicious for people to be coming about this time of day. You enter the town, and ahead of you lies a long cobbled road. A sprawling market is visible further down it and to the left. Let me try and highlight that. Well, I don't have any cursor. I can't. Okay. And then further on from that, you see the steeple of a church cresting just above it. To your immediate right, you see a number of small but humble houses that are lit by a mixture of the steady glow of oil and gas lights and the flicker of candle lights. Many of the houses are illuminated. Some lie dark and dormant. On the corner before you, immediately to your right, you see a tavern, the Ship Hands Inn. A few people are walking around, seemingly carrying out the last of the day's business. You hear some slightly inebriated carousing coming from the tavern and from a few side streets. And it's distinctly different to the experience you've just had in the forest. It seems that no one here is aware of the danger that lurks only 20 minutes away.
Ship Hands Inn sounds like my kind of place. Up for some drinks, maybe a bar fight, bit of music.
Yeah.
Sounds better than the forest, at least.
I'm not sure about the bar fight, but anything else?
Oh, come on, you'd be great in a bar fight.
Sure. That doesn't mean I enjoy it.
He's a man of culture, this one. I pat him on the back and then I walk towards the bar.
Okay, as you approach the Ship Hands Inn, let me try and get this right. As you approach the Ship Hands Inn, it's very warm, very welcoming. Oh yeah. Despite the light brightness, and again using AI imagery to complement your viewing experience. It has a very old-fashioned kind of hanging wooden sign with a ship and some rope behind it. It has shutters on the windows, little flower baskets just outside with late autumn flowers, probably the last of the season. And you get the waft of mediocre ale and the raucous sounds of people enjoying themselves as you enter. A rather burly gentleman passes you as you walk through the first set of doors, and then there's like an old-fashioned, there's like an entryway porch and a stained glass window, another set of doors. And as you go through, the noise hits you. It's quite a cheerful spot.
So it's like prison wars, right? We need to find the burliest guy we can find and beat him up.
I think that's Jacob. Good luck.
Great.
Yeah, I don't quite know if I could take Jacob on right now, but...
So yeah, you walk in, there's tables spread around. It's very humble and small compared to some of the other places you've been, like the Halcyon over in Haven. But it's warm. There's music playing over in the corner. I don't know what kind of music is currently playing on the stream because I don't know what instruments are. But it's a lively. it's like a three-man pub band doing local songs. And behind the bar, a long wooden bar with railings and stools. Looks fairly comfortable. There's a very short, oldish woman who's taking money off people and pouring out flagons and handing them over, doing a busy trade.
When you said taking money off of people, Imagine like with a knife, like she's mugging them, and then you continue. And I'm like, oh, right.
I'm just consistently building you guys up to distrust little old lady.
All
Whenever
poor
you
old
see them,
ladies are
something
gonna
bad is
fuck us
happening.
up.
At least you can trust them to be monsters.
Yeah, so you approach, you enter, you are in the inn. I have no map, but it is an inn. It is fairly standardized. There appears
We're in an inn.
to be, in the area that you're in, only the one floor. There's no obvious staircase, and in fact from the rear it looked like there were eaves, rooms maybe, but it's predominantly a flat building.
Mm-hmm. Are we staying here for the night?
I mean,
I mean,
It's a
we
place
don't
to
have
sleep.
to-
Yeah.
don't have to commit to the first place we see. If we don't like the vibe
That's
in
true.
it, we
Yeah,
can try
you
somewhere
know.
else.
we did get nice. Well, I mean, I have some gold on me now, compared to when
I
we
love
left
him
Haven.
thinking.
So,
Pub crawl.
no.
No,
And
that
you're
what you
gonna
were
foot
thinking?
the bill? Oh man, that's mighty kind of you.
Oh, that
I mean,
Very decent of you, Jacob.
did I speak words that I didn't hear?
I don't know what you heard, my man, but thank you. Either way.
I don't know what that means, but I'm down for a pub crawl.
They give him a high
Calvert, do
five.
you know how many taverns
That
there
is
are
not-
in Rhyll? What's here?
Well, I know that my family supply wine to at least 3 establishments. But there's what was it? Oh, there's also a brewery. They were a bit of competition for us at one point,
Nice.
I believe. What else was there? There's the church. A quite good market, I'm told. I believe that many of the hangings and drapery from the vineyard were from the market here. What else was there? I think that's more. Oh, there's the wizard. The Wizard of Rhyll. Yes.
Yeah, we should probably talk about him at some point when we've had some drinks.
Yeah, I suppose we should maybe go that way sober in a day.
We can talk about it tonight and then go see him tomorrow. I don't
Yeah,
think
of
we should
course.
see him tonight.
No, I'm a little bit spent.
I'm not saying we go fucking fight him. I'm saying we
Sure,
go
yeah.
out for some drinks and
I was going to say,
see what we learn about the place and the wizards on our fact-finding jaunt across town.
I was going to
Various
say,
hubs of rumor and information.
I was just going to say we should maybe get a nice, comfortable place to stay.
Yeah, let's
Rather than,
melt in a little bit. Gather the scuttlebutt, as it were.
That's it, Skullbutt.
Yeah, I'm just talking about a little treat, since
Yeah, let's relax. I
well,
think we're all in
let,
agreement here.
Worry.
let's put it this way: I've been
We
sleeping
will
on
stay. We will
floorboards for a
stay
while now.
somewhere nice tonight, but I think we need to start drinking in somewhere shitty like this, and then we just work our way around and find where the nicest places. Talking to some people as we go, finding the Skullbutt. You know.
Should we find the nice place before we start drinking, or is this a poor decision type of night?
I think this is a poor decision type of night. We were just chased by an old mare,
Very
fucking old woman nightmare disco creature out of the woods, and I'm not okay with that. So I would like to drink heavily and forget about it.
Yeah, now that you say that, a drink might make me forget about that. Might make it easier to fall asleep.
Well, alright then. We
So the
proceed to
bar-
get shit-faced and talk to people.
Assuming we got a table, Jacob's just gonna sort of take his hat off and lift it in the air, wave it at the bartender. It's like, Give us 4 whiskeys. And just sits.
Okay, as you do so, a number of locals kind of turn around and seem to be observing you. Devon, were you approaching the bar, or
Well, I was going to,
seeing
and then we
Jacob
got
just
a table.
shouting across the room?
Then we got tables, and
Jacob's feeling spent. He's like, come serve me. I'll pay.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to be doted on. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, you managed to get quite a nice table, comfortable. Chairs have like leather cushions studied into them. It's quite, well worn and comfortable kind of environment. The table's old, nothing special. You sit down, unfurl yourselves on the chairs, and start to listen to what you hear about you. And you pick up conversations. Nothing jumps out at you as particularly interesting, but you do notice that there seem to be cliques almost within the tavern. There's a few groups that are quite like huddled in the areas, and then there's other people who are just in the middle drinking.
Is that how you
chatting.
pronounce that word?
I always thought it was click rather than
Click.
click.
I always assumed it was clique, but I've never heard anyone say it. So.
Don't know. I
I've
could
always
be wrong
heard it
on that
as
one.
clicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also imagined you were about to immediately go into some other spooky shit, like over the din of the noisy, the occasional
So
click.
click, yeah, that's what I thought first. And
It's
then
the
realised.
bomb under the table. After 40 seconds, a minute, a young woman comes over carrying a tray with some tumbler glasses filled with brown liquid on them. I suppose you've got the gold to pay for this.
well, we wouldn't be ordering it if we didn't.
And looks you over. All right.
How much is it for one?
For one?
Yeah.
Don't ask that question. It's fine.
Well, all for 2 silver, please.
2. Alright. Just give us another round when we're done. I'll pass him 4.
She isn't happy, but yeah, all right, whatever, sure. Takes the coin. Puts a
Here's another silver for the service.
well, all right then. Thank you. Puts a reasonably clean, short tumbler down in front of each of you. Calbor looks at it suspiciously and then looks over at Devon to see what he does.
Mine's gone.
Calbor picks it up, sniffs it, scrunches his nose, takes a sip. Oh, hi, Blank. Okay. Have a good night. Takes a sniff, takes a sip, scrunches his face up further,
TED Talk.
and then pops it back down in front of him.
Is everyone familiar with what a look means in Twitch nomenclature?
A lurk, like to be
A
there,
lurk
but
or a
not
lurk?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
without paying full
Basically,
attention
number
and you're
boosting
not participating
without
in the
actually
chat.
participating. Yeah.
like how Carl looks.
Yeah, or just like
Yeah.
watching
Carl
but
looks
not
outside of your window.
participating.
It's how I lurk in parties, basically.
Yeah.
In social
Yeah, but not
events.
that.
Present but not participating.
Yeah, I am there, just not participating in anything. Yeah.
So you've got your drinks, and speaking of participation, there are one of the kind of groups that's formed seems to be getting bigger, like some kind of party or something. Raucous noise coming from that corner. You see one of the people leave the group, go and talk to the person who's playing music in the corner, and then they change their song to something slightly different, and then carry on.
Somebody once told me about...
Jacob's curious on two things. First
Okay.
of all, what is this whiskey that she gave us? Is
Is
this
it
like a
right?
bourbon or is this more like a scotch?
This is a very cheap rye.
Nice.
So
Rye.
compared to the good quality rye that Angus was gifted by Helithria, this is... It's not quite paint cleaner, but it doesn't go down easy.
Right.
Especially
Yeah, I
for
might-
travel.
I might upgrade the next round to something a little bit better.
Well, I'll tell you what, and reach into my coat and pop the cork off the rye from Helithria, top up our glasses.
Yeah, Jacob's just like the remains of whatever's in his glass. He just like, just disposes of it next to him and then gives.
Just pour it on the floor.
Yeah, he's drunk like over half of it. I reckon. Like he's given a good first.
Just
sip.
treated this place like an absolute shithole.
As someone who was a waiter, I hate you, Carl.
He locked eyes with the waitress when he did it as well.
Don't bring fucking attention to ourselves.
He does it under the table. Okay.
He gives him
it's
2 fingers of the good
it's
rye.
just like a little quick. Yeah, Jacob's got quick hands. You don't even notice it.
So shut up.
In fact.
Oh god, what's your
Oh damn it!
Jacob
Go for a sleight of
does
hand.
not have quick hands. Jacob attempts to dispose of this drink, and in his massive meaty hands that he uses to punch shadow demons, he just drops this glass, making a loud shattering noise that somehow gets above the music, gets above the chatter, and everyone in the inn kind of turns to look at you, and you hear a
Do I
very
get
loud,
a way?
yeah,
Way.
from the big group you get a, oi, oi. And you get some polite applause, and then a very loud sigh and tut coming from the woman who brought your drinks as she comes over to start cleaning it up.
My bad.
And on that note, I sort of swirl up from my chair and work my way through to the crowd towards the musician in the corner.
So as you approach, you see 3 older gentlemen. Think of the Wurzels, if that means anything to you.
Not at all.
I suspected it wouldn't to you, doesn't. Very country, but as in like old style country,
Old country,
not
yeah.
big cowboy hats. Like frayed cardigans and dirty overall kind of group. There's a drum, a flute, and a lute. And they look at you expectantly as you approach. You want a request there, stranger?
No, just looking for a bit of conversation if you've got a break coming up.
Oh, I ain't
Share
never been
some-
one to not take a break when I can't get it.
Share some tales.
It's a nice drink you got there. What is that?
Share some rye.
Well, we ain't definitely never ain't gonna be sharing no rye. And you got elbows. The person next to him who just nods. All right, I suppose we can take a few minutes. And they gotta gently and respectfully put their instruments down and nod over to the bar and lean up against it as they hold out glasses.
Pop the cork and give them a slosh in each of their glasses. Good slosh.
The
Not being
talkative one
stingy.
takes a sniff, eyebrows raised, impressed face, Takes a sip. Oh, ain't no lie, that's pretty good, that is. Oh, you've got good taste there, stranger.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got this just the other day, in fact, from a very grateful young lady. Well, I'll say young lady, elderly lady, who was very pleased that we'd ridded their sewers of a demon.
All right, registers our demon day yet. What do you reckon of that there, Tom? Tom shrugs. If I know there's such good drinking sewer demons, I may have had a different career.
Indeed. Now, what sort of stuff going on in Rhyll? You know?
Oh, ain't ever nothing good going on in Rhyll. He finishes the rest of the glass. We're not much really. You know, little quiet town. Well, I suppose there's the the canal. Tom gives a
The canal. What's special about the canal?
Oh, you're not from around these parts, are you? Aye. Well, you see, there's a canal, and they're building it, and the plan is that it'll come through Rhyll. Only not everyone's impressed with the canal, you see. Some of them, they reckon it's going to be causing them some problems and all. Others say it'll be good for the town. Oh, I don't rightly know.
Any strange going on? And I sort of reach forward and top up his glass.
Much obliged.
Blame that one.
He
Top
sips,
myself off as well.
and you as he's thinking, pondering, you see that he seems to be missing a number of his bottom
Brain
teeth.
cells?
So as his thinking face is like jaw that scrunches up into the rest of his head. I don't reckon there's been nothing much in the way of strange goings on. Just a lot of strife and grumbling between neighbours and friends. Not good for a small town, but if you want strange, then that wizard, I reckon he's the one.
That isn't Bard Felric. What can you tell me about him?
Aye, that's the man, the same. Well, I just know him fellow. He's peculiar. He ain't got much in the way of musical taste. He's been here, as long as I can recall. A decent fellow, I suppose. You know, for a wizard.
Indeed. Well, thank you ever so much for your time. As a fellow musician myself, do you want to throw something together?
I reckon that'll be a good way to ingratiate yourself then with the community. You know,
Let's go.
show
Tell
them
you
you're
what.
a good sort.
I'll start, and you follow on.
All right then, off you go then, Mr. Stranger.
And knowing full well that I will have no idea what I'm playing, I just start playing something and see what happens.
Can I get a performance roll, please?
You certainly can. Character sheet.
Okay.
You go to the 22.
22, very nice. So, what are you intending to play? What kind of song?
Oh, there's something befitting a lively party. Something that I think the group will appreciate. The big group of people having fun, and And yeah, just something to maybe get some feet stomping, something that people know bits of that we'll get them singing along on.
Okay, so like top 10 hits kind of song.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
of high fantasy
All-time classic.
ship
Now that's what I
related
call
taverns.
loot. Okay, so you plan to start off with one of the most popular sea shanty type songs that's been spread from port to port. Everyone basically knows it. Even Calvor probably knows it. And so you start off with this energetic approach, and then heads start to turn towards you. A look of confusion and then surprised delight on many of them. A few start clapping, but it's a slightly different tempo than you're expecting. It's almost slow. Like it's not a, I don't know if you can pick up clapping, it's more like a, like they're just keeping the...
Can I hear what the other team members of the band are playing?
Yes, they're playing a very somber sounding song.
I just realised the rest of the band you hear, but
Yeah. So
I
this,
think
so
I'm
weird.
playing something
This
and they're
really
playing something
tests
completely
your-
different.
your ability as a musician to separate out this and not get distracted by the different tempo and music that you're hearing. So thankfully you did very well in your performance there. And the crowd starts singing, and it's lyrics around it's a song about two young lovers who basically went into the Dragonspine Mountains via different routes and couldn't find each other, but then they found each other in death. Quite like somber, but seemingly a very popular song in this part of the world.
Jacob just leans into Temerity. It looks a bit. He looks a bit confused, but it looks like he's doing a good job. Why is he so confused?
That's Jacob's job.
Wait.
Did we lose Desla?
I'm
Oh, yeah, he did
confused
say he
about
was
you
away from
being
me, I think.
confused.
No, god damn it.
Oh,
As I had just said, obviously, I think a bit confused is a great way to describe Devin. Just generally.
So yeah, you carry on this song. It ends. You're not too sure how exactly, but just as you finish your song, it seems like the right time for this other song to end.
Mhm.
And you get a few polite claps and a slap on the back. All right. If you ain't from around these parts, you certainly know that song very well.
Thank you very much.
Well, if you're in town, you need a place to stay. You staying here?
I think we were gonna take a tour around the town and check out a few places, see where the vibe is best, and settle down there.
Oh, there's a bit of a what do you call it? A boys' night out and all that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go much better than the Ship Hands Inn. It's basically the best place in town. But if you're looking for a stiff drink, then Somber Acorn's not bad. But
Sounds fun.
I'd keep away from the Nag's Shins if I were you. They're not too welcoming of strange folk. He kind of gives you another nod. The other two kind of raise the glasses that they had with a gesture of thanks and move on back to the bar for a bit.
Head back over to the group and I say, so chatting to those guys, I think the best place for us to go next is the next Shins.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
Yeah,
nice.
fuck it. Let's just check everything out.
Great place, apparently. And it's... Our route will take us just past the Wizard's Tower. Can we give a little butchers at what's going on there? Just ships passing in the night, as it were.
Right, yeah. While Devon was playing and all that, Jacob's been sort of focusing in on the large group,
Yes.
seeing what they're partying about. Is there something specific? Is there anything? Just trying to pick up the vibe, pick up any conversation.
Oh, can I get a perception, please? Okay. You're really not doing well with rolling today.
Jacob's not well. Yeah.
Okay, so
D&D is translating my real life day.
you see a number of people, a mixture of sorts, but in the center you see a couple of halflings who are kind of sat side by side, one male, one female, middle-aged, and they're kind of discussing something with everyone else. But it may be the accents, it may be that you're very tired, you can't really make out what they're discussing.
Right.
But everyone seems to be involved in this discussion, and some voices seem frustrated and loud, other voices are calm and collected. So you kind of none the wiser as to what the actual group is doing.
I think they're planning a heist.
Okay. Do you want to be a part of the heist? Or...
I don't know. Sounds like money.
What? Go do the
Something
legwork. Go
about
yourself.
money.
What? No. That's probably not a good
Who's got
idea.
money?
Oh, the large group. They seem to
Yeah.
be planning a heist. It seems. Yeah.
Say we can do a
that's about
heist. That'd be great
all
fun.
I think that's all I can make out so far. I think I'm not really sure it's a heist or what kind or anything, but it looks like
Okay,
they're planning something. It's probably a heist if they're planning something. Let's face it.
How about you guys go on, explore the next tavern. I'll hang back and see if I can't suss out any more detail about it.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Okay.
He winks.
Oh dear.
You're not sure, but Jacob might be tired.
He just becomes increasingly paranoid and reckless as he goes on. Okay, so
Come on, Jacob. We've got things to do.
Do I?
I'll stay here with Master Temerity, if you don't mind.
Oh, come on, cowboy.
Is it nice, the place? Will we be, welcomed?
Is it?
That's what the guy said. They said it was a lot of fun. I think Temerity should probably come with us, actually, though.
I mean, yeah, I will if you want me
What?
to.
Let's just scope out the party here for a second. Just see if this is this heist thing's something worth paying more attention to, and we'll head over to the next shin after that.
Is this place some kind of thing like in Haven where we did some backroom fighting, or is it that kind of up-down thing?
Yeah,
Class?
so just another raucous tavern to spend our coin and Look out for
Alright.
beautiful women and
I'll tell you
play
what.
some music.
Main thing I'm looking for is a nice bed. So wherever we find it, I'm with you.
Okay, as everyone is about to leave, I'll go over to that group that's planning the heist. Um,
Just ask them.
What are you planning
well,
to steal?
I'm not planning to steal anything except for a few glances. I'll go over to like in between two of them, put my hands firmly on their backs, and just kind of lean in, give a good look at everybody.
Okay.
Because I want to gather what they look like.
Okay, cool. Just
Yeah,
remind everyone, what is Temerity wearing?
a very nice kind of
Okay.
white and black with a no, like a solid black kind of like tuxedo outfit with a white shawl. And then of course he has this big like bombastic red hair.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. So you approach the group of obvious farmers and lay people, and you kind of nestle yourself in between one really tall guy and one really short guy, and you've got your arms behind them, and everyone turns to look at you, including the big guy who just looks down at you and looks at your hand on his shoulder. You get a good look of it at everyone's face.
Good. I'm gonna commit them to memory, and then playing a sort of jovial fool type of character. I'm gonna be like, you know what? This tavern is really fantastic. We're gonna turn in though. I hope everyone has a beautiful night. And then I'm gonna buy around for everybody, and then I'm gonna turn around and stumble away.
Okay. Can I
It's
get
okay
a
if I
performance
confuse
check,
them.
please?
Performance. Oh, Tomato's decent at these. Good job, past me.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
plus
You,
5.
you see the big guy's frown turn to a bit of a smirk and a bit of an eye roll as you say what you say.
Yeah, and then just as I'm turning away, I'll pat him on the chest. And an extra one for this beefcake, am I right? And then I'll leave.
Some eyebrows and like not looks of shock and surprise, but more so that was weird from everyone.
Yeah, good.
As they kind of carry on, they reform the huddle as you wander off.
Okay. So, we might not be sticking around to know what they're planning, but at least we can spot them if we see them at night. Up to shenanigans. I'll stop by the bar proper and just buy them around however much that would cost, and then I'll leave.
Okay, there's
With everyone else.
Yeah, there's 10 people there. This being a brewery town, the beer's fairly cheap, so let's say that is 2.5 silver.
Okay. I'll give the barkeep a whole gold and tell him to keep the change.
Okay, there's the little woman behind the bar. Takes the coin, bites into it, check that it's real, and then, seeing that it is, much obliged. You want anything else? Room for the night?
Yeah. Maybe. But we're gonna go check out the rest of the town. We just got in.
All right.
Still shaking off the swamp beast, you know?
The what?
Never mind. Have a beautiful night.
You too? He pockets it. Well, she drops it down her blouse.
Ooh.
They
were like, ooh, and then I'll wink at her, and then I'll leave.
you say, God, get out of here, you. So you exit out into...
She's into you, buddy.
Well, she seems like quite the character. I didn't get a quite good look at her because the DM didn't describe her, but I would
Yeah.
say she's adorable.
Probably
Little
80.
old lady, blonde hair, big, obviously fake earrings, low
Oh,
cut
Well, I thought you
dress.
were going
right.
to go with that.
Low
That
cut
went
dress.
somewhere else.
She's about 20 years old, too old to be wearing.
Okay, well, a little bit of flirting will make her day, and then we could just
Big,
leave it at that.
obviously
Then
fake
I'll leave.
earrings. you see.
Earrings.
Get your mind out the gutter, you lot. Right. So your plan is to, as you leave, head via the wizard's tower
I prefer natural
To-
earrings.
to the Nag's Shins Inn.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
And by the wizard's tower, just skirting the outside. I'm gonna look at
Okay.
what it is, where it is, how to get in, how to get out.
Is it flammable? So as you head out
The
of
windows.
the inn, head to the right, you pass the market, which is a number of stalls on a like plaza area. The other side of the market is the river, which is flowing gently and quite serenely in the moonlight and this nice peaceful autumn evening. You almost forget the
Is
horrors
there a
that you've
place
faced.
that's like doing like street food in the market as we're going past?
So the market is closed at the moment. There's no one there. It's just the empty stalls.
Fair enough.
As you carry on, you see next to the market is the church, which is a very old, but not particularly big church. No lights on inside. You turn right, head on to one of the main thoroughfares that cuts through the town, from west to east. And you can see quite clearly the Wizard's Tower just looming above the other buildings, casting deep shadows as you approach. And I have a picture, I think. I do. That's obviously just a different angle. But it's a very ramshackle building, almost as if it's just been built upon over the ages. So the top of the tower is quite a bit newer looking than the base of the tower. There's lights throughout it, and at the top
Many
you can
renovations.
See, yeah, you can see that it's
Many upgrades.
the top's fairly modern as far as these things go, but the bottom is very ancient. So what kind of thing are
Okay.
you looking for as you pass?
Just any visible signs of defences.
Lewis is planning to make a
exits,
siege to this tower.
windows. It's just good to know what sort of place you're walking into.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
If we have to jump out of a window, I want to know how to get down.
it's fairly high up, the top of the tower. Certainly not the kind of thing you'd want to jump out of. It commands a very good view around the town. Pretty much all the buildings around it are 2 stories, 3 stories at max. This is more of a 6-story in total building. The ground floor being such a stout stone structure that's obviously incredibly old is very impregnable on first viewing. You would have to take a more thorough investigation to look for any point of ingress. But you can see that as it gets higher, the newer areas are much more comfortable looking and less functional. There's large windows. You can see a skylight on one of the sides of the roof. And you see the faintest glimmer of candlelight coming from inside one of the top windows.
Looks like Mr. Fabric is at home.
Certainly would appear so.
So it definitely wasn't the little fat. Wait, the big skeleton.
Oh, well, we're pretty sure that was the old woman that told us not to go that way and to go through the dark woods and then turn into a nightmare deer skull creature.
I think that Carl is referring to the skeleton you found in the sewers.
Yeah, the door
that's
that
gonna...
I understood
Well-
as being him at first.
No. That was a human-sized person in the sewers, and Belric's a little gnomey boy.
Another human
Yes.
size.
Is that not the problem? Nomenclature.
Oh dear. So are you making any further investigations as to the tower, or are you carrying on your way?
I will head over towards. Keep an eye out for me. And I go over to the stone lower part of the building, and I just have a feel around the walls.
Okay, cool. Can I get a investigation, please?
No.
Okay. So there is an obvious entrance as you approach.
I think there's a door around here somewhere.
There is a door.
It just leads off
That's
the road
good.
Successfully
start.
find the front door.
in like a standard arc.
Does the look like the door has a handle and maybe some hinges?
Is it
You
locked?
do indeed notice that the door has a handle. Would you like to try it?
No hinges.
No, I don't want to go in yet.
Okay, you.
I'm not interrupting this pub crawl with an
with
unexpected
work.
intrusion.
So you see that this this tower has a main entrance, big stone archway. Through that, there's a little alcove, and then a very heavy-looking oaken door. Little note to the right says business hours 9 till 3 weekdays. And then the weekdays are just underlined a bunch of times, like quite aggressively.
Is it a weekday?
Yes, it is.
Is tomorrow a weekday?
Tomorrow is also a weekday. It is a
Okay.
Friday. It's easy to just use normal weekdays. So tomorrow is a Friday. Today is a Thursday.
Okay. So we won't offend him too much by turning up tomorrow. Good to
Potentially.
know.
You leave the main doorway and you head around the base of the tower, keeping an eye out. Your friends are just stood in the road, looking either way. It's fairly quiet, but they're very conspicuous. You feel the wall, the old gritty texture, moss and sprigs of grass growing out of it in various parts. Very cool. It's got that slight dampness that it's still from the heavy rain that you had the night before. It's fairly standard brick, stone construction building as far as you can tell.
Okay. I head back over. I found the front door. And that's all it's got down here. So that's probably where I should suggest we start tomorrow. So, after 9.
Oh, now here I was planning on getting a grappling hook and then climbing in his window up there. Make a good impression.
But why?
Can we still do that tomorrow?
I'm kidding.
I've
Let's
got-
go to bed.
No, let's go drinking.
Right.
All right, Jacob, if you need to go to bed, man. Take care of yourself. I'll
No,
babysit this
yeah,
one.
I'll have a drink if I don't have to get up too early tomorrow.
No, as long as it's between 9 and 3, we can pop in. Got a sign.
That's fine.
Between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m.
Weekdays only. You seem to feel quite strongly about that.
Okay, well, yeah. It's still. I don't even know if we found the nicest place yet. So let's find the nice place.
We
Best.
only found one place technically.
Yeah. So I mean,
So-
technically, it is the nicest one we found, but
It is. Is the next one any better?
Well,
Are
so
you
from
heading-
what
Oh,
I've
sorry.
understood is that the Somber Acorn probably got the best beds. Ship Hands in best music. Shins in best looking women.
Acorn it is. We've been traveling for like a week now, fighting monsters.
Oh, come on, next Shins.
All right.
Just
Here's
gonna
the
stare
plan.
at him until somebody talks.
We go to the
One drink,
Shins
one
one.
drink at the next Shin, and I'll buy them best stuff they've got.
You get yourself a woman, and you take her back to the Acorn place, and then we stay there.
You won't take her back. Just give me a half hour, and then I'll go back to the Somber Acorn on my tour.
Or you do whatever you want. Well, that's
Give me
fine. Well,
3
we can-
minutes.
We'll follow you to the Shin, and
Oh,
then
dear.
45
Shin in.
seconds on a run up.
I'll have a drink over there, and then move on to the nice place.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
So you're heading to the next Shin.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. You carry on
Maybe.
down the main road, past the Wizard's Tower. You see a number of nice houses. Again, most of them well lit. Take a left, carry on down another long road, residential area still. And then ahead of you, you see a larger building with lights and noise as you approach. This one seems slightly rowdier than the last, and slightly more run down as well. Yeah, it's not as quite as nice looking as the other place. But you enter, you find slightly more aggressive music being played. Ironically, even though the other place is called the what was it, the Sea Hands?
Ship Hands in.
Ship Hands in. This one has more of a shanty feel to the music that you're hearing. You enter. It's small, slightly smaller than the other place. Not as well lit. There's a fire, but it's dying out. It's not as roaring and comfortable as you'd expect from an inn, especially one this close to a main gate. And a surly, rather large gentleman in a shirt that doesn't fit properly and doesn't have all its buttons is behind the bar. You see him do the almost cliched spitting in a glass and then wiping it. And he pours a drink out. You hear the sound of Calwell's footsteps stop as he enters. We're not staying here, are we? It's, just a...
Not staying here. Not staying here.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a drink or two, soak up the atmosphere, see what information we can find out about anything, and then we'll go onto the Somber Acorn and have a nice feather bed and comfy pillows and duvets and all that shit. And it'll be a lovely night's sleep.
That does sound
First.
rather nice. Okay, I'll follow. He sticks very close to Temerity as you enter.
Yeah, keep track of him like a kid.
Head straight to the bar.
It's fairly small and fairly busy as you enter the main area, whereas the other place had tables in the center of the room, and people had pushed together tables for their larger meetings and gatherings. This room has benches, like long benches against the tables, so it's like, I don't know, row style seating. And you see over to your left, below a window which has been partly boarded up, and looks out to the west of the town. You see a group of surly, the kind of people who dress like how you would dress if you didn't want people paying attention to you. Over on your right, you see some very haggard and tired-looking women. It immediately catches Devon's attention, apparently. And strangely, you see
He gets a copper out.
a dog just sitting, like just to the right of the bar. He's just sitting there, not doing anything.
A dog?
Yeah, like a border collie, just sat there.
Jacob's going to wander over to the dog.
Yeah, exactly. If I was just playing myself, dog time, definitely.
I head straight over to the bar.
The surly large gentleman looks you over. What can I get you?
Tell you what, we'll have a round of what's good for everyone in this place.
There ain't
Calls
nothing,
that out.
ain't nothing good for anyone in this place, but I'll take your gold.
Oh, okay. We'll just go to a different establishment then.
No.
Everything here is shit. As the proprietor, it's my job to say that.
No,
hate
you're
these
not
men.
fair.
legal requirement to tell you that everything here is fucking awful.
The health inspector has instructed me to inform you.
I have been officially given the everything shit rating.
Okay, next place. Let's go.
He hands out his hand. 5 gold.
Step 6 gold onto the bar and slide it across to him.
As you slide the gold in, it makes a noise. A number of eyes look over at you, seemingly recognizing that sound. It's like some kind of instinctive brain memory.
Who am I robbing?
He looks almost annoyed at the fact that you have the money, and takes it, pockets it, and down his dirty trousers that you now see he's not in a good state of repair, and starts just getting glasses, and he just shouts it, "Oi, you lot! This one's got your drinks." You don't get the response you were hoping for. You don't get the cheer, except for from the haggard women over in the corner.
And I turn to the room full on expecting applause, just smug-faced, hands slightly raised, palms up, just...
Charming.
Yeah, you're fucking welcome.
He starts like sliding glasses down the bar. And
I'll lean over. Thank you, stranger I've never seen before. And I take a
You
drink
are
of it.
very welcome to Merity.
Fuck you.
yeah.
I'm guarding the gnome with my life.
I'm just scanning the room. Apart from the haggard old women, is there anyone in this place that looks vaguely interested in any sort of conversation?
Well, there's a over in the group of surly-looking people. They're getting increasingly vocal, and one young man seems to be leading the conversation, and he's getting increasingly agitated. And he stands up, and above the others, you can see. You can see a. Where are you? Yeah. I gotta take so long to swap things through. You see an angry-looking young man in very simple, humble clothing. And you can't quite make out what he's saying, but he's seems to be arguing with one of the other men who's saying "sat down," but he's leaning back.
I'll listen really closely.
If you roll me a perception, we'll find out.
No.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. Are you
You think they're planning a heist?
are you staying where you are, or are you trying to get closer
I'll
to...
sort of sidle a little bit closer, sort of just like I'm
Okay.
working my way through the crowd.
As you leave the bar, one of the women in the corner kind of moves over, leaving a space next to her on the bench, and kind of raises her eyebrows at you, but seeing that you start to walk in the other direction, just flips you the middle finger. Classy establishment. You...
I mage hand like finger crossbows out.
Pew, 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 pew.
As you carry on, you start to hear, you get more of an idea of what he's saying. You catch words like canal is there, Rhyll is there, way of life, jobs, land, history,
Immigrants.
Yeah, quite emotive things that he's talking about, and he seems to be disagreeing with what you now see is an older gentleman who is, again, he just sat back, kind of leaning on the bench, looking up at him, not really reacting.
Okay. They're arguing about the canal.
What canal?
It was that.
Is that
Who was
Felbo?
that? Cowboy. Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Oh, okay. He's next to me. Am I close enough to Devon?
Oh.
Yeah, I think I was heading
that Devon
towards.
came back and was
I was
saying
heading
to you-
towards the party via them, and just, yeah.
I'm happy to
Yeah.
be close enough to you in case they want to fight you, but
Well, they seem
up to
more
you.
interested in fighting amongst themselves. They're disagreeing about the canal. Seems to be a bit of a running theme that I've heard once we've been going around. Doesn't seems to divide opinion.
oh, okay. Is Jacob with us, or did you peel off?
Nearby.
You're nearby? Okay, I'm going to do that whole go hang out with your mom kind of point to our employer here and point to Jacob, being said mom. And then I'm going to go over to that lady who flipped Devon off.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sidle up next to her. Do you know what they're pissed about?
She kind of... She's not looking at you when you approach, and she looks like she's about to just tell you to clear off, but in other words. And then she sees what you're wearing, and she looks you up and down twice.
Oh, them lot, they're always pissed off. But, you don't seem to sore. You seem like you're in a good mood. If you're not, then perhaps I can help you to achieve that state of being, if you catch the wave of my drift.
You might be able to
has
do
no
that by
teeth.
giving me information. Do you know what the man about specifically?
Oh, information. Well, I'm a businesswoman, and my time
Obviously.
has an associated cost.
She pulls a... like one of those long cigarette holders that Cruella de Vil has out from between her bosom. And then gets a very crudely rolled cigarette, inserts it, and then lights it on the candle while attempting to look alluring at you, but not really doing a very good job. And she breathes, not
Timothy's
particularly
lying
nice
through his
smoke
eyes.
at you.
What's it worth to you, darling?
Depends on what the information is. Look, I've dealt with plenty of brokers before. Tell me and I'll pay you fairly.
First time I've been called a broker. Oh, all right then.
Mentally, to me, he's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, the thing you've got to know is,
Takes a big draw. Like this whole cigarette disappears and just condenses down into ash. She stifles a burp as she finishes inhaling.
the thing you've got to know, love, is that round these parts, there's always something to piss the right sort off. And they're disagreeing over the canal, right? You know about the canal, right?
Assume I don't.
Oh, assume it'll cost you a bit more when we come to settle up. But, so, them lot over there in Aximundi City, they decided that they want to have a canal. But, they want it to come through these parts, see? Now, people around here, some of them like that idea, some of them don't. Them lot over there, and him, that handsome young fella, I could tell you stories about him. Well, he's pretty stubborn in his view that the canal would not be to the benefit of our community.
Is that it?
I think I've given you a good amount of information. Perhaps we should discuss more specialist, niche information. What is it exactly that you're looking for, love?
Mostly about that, but now I wish I was after more information, because that was boring as sin.
Well, it's it's a little town, isn't it? Ain't all fancy.
I suppose so.
Well,
How long has the wizard been in town? Tell me that much.
oh, him. Oof. He doesn't have much time for my services, I'm afraid. Don't know too much about him. He's been here forever, I think. Longer than I have. Longer than Cheryl here as well. And she's been here since 10 shifts ago, isn't it, Cheryl?
You just hear Shell go, fuck off.
Fuck. That one line makes me like Shell way more than this lady already. She's not doing herself any favors.
Cheryl's just so sick of everyone's shit.
So, yeah, it may not be very glamorous, but him, that's Tallow, the young un, and that un,
Points to the older man.
that's his papa. I could tell you some stories about him and all.
I'm not interested. What was his name? Papa's name?
Barley.
Bali and Tallow?
Yeah, tarot. Like the cards, what you play.
He gets another cigarette and stuffs it in.
Is there anything else you be wanting to know? Or shall we settle up?
Sure, what are you looking for?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, thank you for writing.
Oh no, what you reckon, Cheryl? 10 gold?
I might be able to convince. I might be able to be convinced to give you half that if you roll a good persuasion check.
You reckon I could always, render additional services if you're so inclined.
For that insult, 4 gold.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I'm being so mean to this lady. I'll give her 4 gold and I'll leave. I'm done with this lady.
She takes it. It also goes down the bows.
Well, come back and, see us if you're so inclined, darling. Send your friends.
I won't be. Have a good night.
You hear a very, like, almost the sound of teeth biting, like a noise as you walk away. It sends a shiver down your spine.
Come on, son. We're done here. I pick up the gnome and I leave.
Oh, they seem nice.
Yeah, well, we're walking out the door.
Okay.
I'm done with this establishment.
Gnome under
Oh,
arm.
we're done.
You leave.
Jacob just downs his drink like, oh, wait, we done? We done?
Yeah, I think we're done in here.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Is there a nicer place we can go to?
Yeah, the somber acorn.
I hope so.
Okay, so the acorn it is.
Dive
I
bars
just dealt
like
with these
that's
too
supposed to
many
be
of these
well
people
fun.
in real life. I'm not gonna do it in fantasy. To the acorn it is, and then I fill everyone in what I learned.
Okay, yeah, you convey information as to Taro and his father, the fact that that group is not impressed with the concept of the canal.
Mm-hmm.
You head
Like
back
that-
out. Sorry.
Not everyone is happy with the highway being installed, but it's kind of necessary.
You head back, you take the northern route, you pass a brewery on the way. Riverside Brewery. Looks fairly impressive, actually. It's a big building. A couple of big metal silos stand outside of it. You get
It's
the smell of
mostly
hops
clean.
as you go. Yeah, definitely one of the cleaner looking buildings, although the main building itself is looking a bit worse for wear. But obviously in good condition. And next to it, you see the sign for the Somber Acorn. Your impression upon nearing this establishment is it's very similar to the Ship Hands Inn, maybe slightly more upmarket. You get a whiff of food, more so than booze as you enter. Smells quite good, actually. You
Fantastic.
detect some kind of gravy that is particularly alluring to you. As you enter, fairly nice double doors open inwards. There's a bar area over on your left, and there's a dining area over on your right. And on the right-hand side, there is a little sign that says, "Please wait to be seated," and a little lectern next to it.
Oh, should we eat?
Yeah, let's get some proper food. That sounds good.
Oh, that does sound rather nice. Don't you think, Jacob?
Honestly,
Jacob just wants to sleep.
little snack, and then just bed
You can
Maybe
save
a
food for
drink.
the morning.
with a snack.
I'm also okay with just going to bed. It's whatever.
That's fine with me.
Okay, but I do want a good meal in this place, so once we wake up.
Yeah.
So what's the plan?
To get some rooms.
Okay.
How much for the night?
So as you approach the, I guess the wait to be seated section, a very friendly young woman, very different to what you've seen recently. Welcome to the Somber Acorn. How can I help you?
Ma'am, just your visage has already helped us. You're the most
You're a
beautiful person we've talked to
thesaurus.
tonight. Talked to some
wait.
real hacks.
Oh, you've been to the next shin, then I see.
Exactly.
Yes, that
Bing,
Cheryl is
like
quite
drag.
a character. Are you interested in dining with us, or are you just here for some libations?
That second one.
Yes, both, but later. We need
Assuming
to sleep
that
by now.
means, a bed.
Oh, a bed? No, it does not, but that is perfectly fine. We have rooms. Let me just check very quickly. And she looks through a piece of paper that's on the lectern, turns it over. Yes, we appear to have 2 rooms available.
Very well.
Right,
Me and my son here will take one of them, and I'm still holding the gnome underneath my arm.
He's just kind
And
of
then you still can have the other one.
he's kind of just gone stiff and just being carried around.
I was
She's
gonna wait
literally
another
got a
5.
gnome at this point.
I was gonna wait another
Telling you
5
God,
minutes
no.
and then say I set the gnome down. But
As
no, I'm
she-
still holding him. Okay.
As she looks at him, he just goes, "Hello."
Hello.
Oh yes, what a lovely young man. Very well. Can I send some food or drinks to your rooms for you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got? What's good tonight?
Where our pies are particularly famous, we use the finest ale from the Riverside Brewery, of course. All
Sounds good. Talk
surprise
to
me.
me about sides.
Well, we have potatoes dauphinoise, potatoes in chip form, we have potatoes in fry form, we have mashed potatoes, and we have jacket potatoes. You may notice a theme as to our reliance on potatoes.
Solid carbohydrate.
May I just ask how much for just the room?
Just the room? I always get confused with rooms. What's a standard room wage? Room cost?
I don't know, but Cowboy can cover everything. Wonder his employer.
I
mean, like
don't want to
Jacob's literally
just-
holding his
yeah.
pouch.
Okay, I
like-
don't want to search for it. But Cowboy pipes up. Oh, no, it's quite all right. You've done more than enough for today. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Thank you.
All right.
Could you just
I'm a
put
little
me down?
offended, but all right.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you. And he just speaks to the woman. Put another name, Calbo of Nim, please. Thank you. Yes, here's my details.
Excuse me.
He
I love
puts
having
the
a little
gold
gnome
card
with us.
down on the desk. Well, that very well. I'll show you to your rooms, then, gentlemen.
Thank you
Fantastic.
very much.
Do you have any luggage?
I
Only
looked at
what-
Cowboy.
Only what we're carrying.
Very good, then. If you'll just follow me. She leads you through the dining area. Very nice. The smell of food hits you. It's amicable chatter. Quite a bit of nice this and that. You're turning left and you're going up a set of stairs. Very narrow, very old, rickety. And then she just walks along the hall a little bit and gestures to a room on her right and on her left and hands hands Temerity a key and hands Jacob a key. And then kind of points off, and you're basically on opposite sides of the corridor together. Your food will be with you presently.
Right.
This actually sounds really nice. I'd love to do
Yeah,
this.
I'm sold. There's,
It's a nice tavern.
is there a bath in the room?
So the is this a question or are you investigating? Like when you open? the door?
I will
It's a
see when I
question.
open the door.
Okay.
I'll just ask the lady.
I'm afraid that not all the rooms have baths. I believe that yours, and she points to Temerity and Calbo. I forgot his name then. Yours does have a bath. Yours, unfortunately, only has a wash basin.
Do you want to use ours, or is there like a public one?
There is also a public bathroom down the hall that you are welcome to use.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it up to you, my friend. Whichever one you guys want to use.
Jacob shrugs and heads off.
In any particular direction? Or
Like he sort of starts walking and he just sort of looks at the guy and just like points in one direction, points in another direction, like waiting for a nod. Which way?
yeah.
I don't really need a bath. Just bed and food.
This evening is not quite as quite what Devon thought it would be. Just a nice meal and a comfortable bubble bath
Yeah.
instead of his pub crawl.
That sounds lovely, if I'm honest. I think I'm the youngest one here, and that sounds so lovely. It's this old person this night.
Yeah, I mean, personally, Kyle is way past the pub crawls.
So
Yeah,
sorry, go on.
Devon adventure. Just go out and like get murdered somewhere. That's fine. We'll find you in the morning.
Just get drunk and go back to the forest and try and fist fight the creature. So, are you
Might not go look for
all
you.
going into one room, or are you splitting up?
I mean, how many rooms have we been
It's
allocated?
You've been allocated 2 rooms.
right? Yeah.
Opposite one another. One has a bath,
I'm-
one does not.
How
I'm
many
going
beds
with the
in the
gnome
room?
into the bathroom.
Okay. Strange sentence.
How many beds in the room?
Well, yeah.
So each of them is a double bed room. So there are
Oh, okay.
two
Well, yeah,
decent sized
Jacob will
beds.
take the non-bath one.
Okay. So that leaves Devon without. So yeah, if you're splitting up, you enter the rooms. Very nice, very comfortable. Nice old floorboards. Smell of reasonably fresh cotton and fabrics. Yeah, pretty comfortable. You have windows looking out onto the town. You can see the brewery from the room that Temerity and Calbor are in. You can see just houses from the other. You get a bit of a view of the market. Warm, cozy, comfortable. Pretty good. Probably the best night you would have had. Well, best place you would have fallen asleep since we started the campaign. Oh wait, no, you stayed in the Halcyon, didn't you? Which is nice of them.
Just stay in the house. Didn't
As you're going to go into your separate rooms and change or do your ablutions, whatever, it's not long before there's a knock on the doors, and both doors are knocked simultaneously.
Hello.
There's no answer.
Kick it down and wrestle the person. No. I assume it's the food. We'll bring it in.
Yeah, you open the door and you see a tray in front of each door, kind of blocking the walkway, actually, with 2 pies and a large flagon of water and various potato accompaniments on trays outside each door.
That's nice. All right, see ya. And he just grabs it, closes the door.
See ya. Nah.
Okay, yeah, it is very tasty food. Are there any other plans for the evening, or are you all actually just gonna go to sleep?
No,
Jacob's
Devon's
quite
gonna
set
eat
on
his
ending the
food,
day.
and then he's
continue
gonna.
that.
Yeah, Devon's going to eat his food, and then he's going to head back out to the ship hands in, and he's going to get drunk and start talking to the heist planners as they get drunk, and try and just find out a little bit of information.
Okay.
Maybe sneakily suggest that someone tells me more about the heist they're planning.
Okay. You re-enter the ship hands inn. The woman behind the bar seems to recognise you as the party that paid rather well. Gives you a very nice nod. Does the "do you want a drink" gesture?
And give her the yes, please. Finger crossbow.
By the time, like a finger crossbows are just taken on in this world. By the time you get to the to the bar, there's a nice snifter of slightly better quality whiskey this time.
By the time you get to the bar, there's already merchandise with finger crossbows on them.
And the same group is over in the corner. The musicians give you a nod as you enter. You get a warmer feeling than you did when you first came in. Maybe because you've had a few drinks now, but you're not feeling as out of place. Ahead of you is a large group gathered around the large man, the little man, and the 2 halflings. And they're still discussing, but they're somewhat quieter now.
Do they appear to be a little more drunk?
Yes, they do. There's the occasional giggle from the group. And as you approach, you hear what sounds an awful lot like they're gossiping or they're making fun of someone.
Who are they making fun of? Can I hear? Could I see? Are they looking furtively at someone as they're gossiping?
No, they're not. As you approach, you hear them refer to this person as being backwards, angry, uneducated, unambitious, generally a bit thick and ugly. Yeah,
Right.
usual small town stuff.
They know Barry!
His reputation has spread far and wide as a total wanker. They do notice you as you think that you're getting closer, secretly and quietly. One of the halflings, the woman, looks over to you. It was a very good song you did there, stranger. And the whole group kind of turns.
Thank you very much.
You're not from round here, are you?
No, that's very astute of you. I'm not from around here. Arrived in today with my companion.
Yeah, the well-dressed fellow in the who's generous with his drinks, I believe.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to be equally
Generous with my drinks.
similar in that regard, would you?
And I sort of gesture over to the young lady behind the bar and do like a circle motion with my finger and point down to the group.
She gives you just a thumbs up, and then she tries to do the finger crossbows back at you, but she's not quite mastered it yet.
Misfire.
she winds up a full crossbow, gestures it. No. So she starts loading up drinks, a bit of a smile on her face. Oh, that's very good to hear. You in town for come sit, have a seat.
Oh, you are too kind.
Big guy kind of moves to the side and pulls a stool out for you.
Thank you very much. We are passing through Rhyll, really. Maybe here for a couple of days before moving on. Listen, don't mean to be provocative, but what are your thoughts on the canal?
Don't mean to be provocative, eh?
Well, it's not being here very long. I already know it's quite a conscientious topic.
The man sat next to her, the other halfling, is quite obviously inebriated. It's all the same, isn't it, to you out of towners? You know, a bit of local gossip. He gets the old gestures to his head, and then seems to forget what he was saying. I think what he's trying to say is, we don't often get out of towners interested in our local drama.
Seems to me to be what everyone was talking about, one way or another.
Oh, the other people who've been talking about the tavern wouldn't happen to be at the let's say the Nag's Shins, would they?
Might have been, yeah. Fucking shit on him, isn't it?
It's not the best. But you will have seen taro and barley then, will you?
I think I heard those names bandied about a little bit, yeah. Generally unhappy looking fella arguing with some other generally unhappy looking fella.
You get a few guffaws
most-
of laughter as you say that. They're too bloody right.
But yeah, it's gone very nice in there. So I thought I'd come back here where the vibe seems to be a little bit more lively and welcoming.
Well, it is the male halfway. Well, it should be more welcoming because we're, more welcoming people, not like those troglodytes.
Now these are farmer types as well, aren't they?
So the two that you have in
Right.
front of you are somewhat better dressed. They're not, by looking at them, farmers, nor are they sailors. They dress like quasi-wealthy townsfolk types. You have a name, stranger? Asked the halfling woman.
My friends and fans call me Devon.
Devon, oh, that's very nice, that is. Oh, well, I'm Giddy, and this is Philbus. Please make your acquaintance, says Philbus.
Is that the two halflings? Yeah.
Yes, we own the Riverside Brewery.
Ah. Been travelling with I suppose, a competitor of yours of sorts, Mr. Cowboy of Nim.
You get another laugh around the room. Is he's back, is he? Oh, right. Yes, thankfully the wine business and the beer and ale business are not too
Complement each
competitive.
other nicely, I suppose.
You get
Yeah,
a very
okay.
solemn nod off the male halfling. From your right, a human man, quite large, but fat large, rather than big large, like the guy who sat immediately next to you. And why do you ask about the canal? Devon.
Well, just because it seemed to be a very pointed point of conversation around town, and I'm always interested in hearing other people's viewpoints on matters like this.
And you have no other interest in the matter?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not entirely sure what a canal is.
You get another round of laughter from the group.
That's a brilliant line, Angus.
The woman, again, a large woman, sat next to the large man. No, excuse Gunter. He is very skeptical. A canal is a large body of water carried through a man-made structure, and you can send little boats down it, and from there you can increase trade and travel opportunities. It's very good. A general grumble of consent.
Question.
Yeah.
How does the canal differ to the river
Oh, silly.
that's
You can-
already running through the town?
Well, you can go down a river, but going up is very difficult. A canal, it is flat. You can go both ways with relative ease.
But what about when there's hills and valleys? And
The
oh,
man,
hills and valleys, mostly.
the man chimes in. Yeah, for that they have the locks. A lock is where you have the water, and it is contained, and you can raise or lower the water level to go up a hill or down into a valley. It is the latest science. A general nod of from the
What is it people have against?
Probably one
this
dude saying
canal?
lots of fake.
Well, the arguments are infantile as they aren't numerous, unfortunately. So, they claim that this is an old town, and some of the families have been here for millennia, and things have been a certain way, and they don't like progress. Others complain that it will be ugly, even though they haven't seen it. And others say that the large businesses that will come will push out the small businesses, and also that it would bring more strange types like you who play nice music and chat.
Yeah, it just sounds like I don't know what they're talking about. That sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah, it is. And everyone,
And these people were definitely talking about a heist earlier. Just out of character clarification.
No.
That was
I rolled
They were-
a
they-
natural one.
Oh, they were not talking about
Yeah,
that.
Carl has
Okay.
no idea what they were talking about.
They were discussing something.
And therefore it
Jacob
was
assumed it was a heist.
It sounds like it may have been the canal.
It's probably a heist.
the canal heist. Yeah. If you're interested in the canal, you should go and speak to the engineer. You would like him. He's very, very smart man.
Sounds just like my cup of tea. What is it that you all do when you're not being here?
Oh, how rude of us. We should have known to introduce ourselves. We are not savages like those you saw at the night shins.
That's why they didn't introduce themselves either.
I imagine that some of the ladies may have. And the woman next to him goes, Gunter. He laughs.
They
Guns.
certainly tried.
I am Gunter, and this is Philomena. We run the blacksmith shop. And then gestures over to Giddy and Philbus. And you have already spoken to Giddy and Philbus. And then he introduces various other characters who I haven't been bothered to name.
Barry, Larry,
Make 'em
Gary.
up.
Barry, Gary, Larry, Smarry, Tarry, and Nary.
Just fuck you to Barry. Everyone else is cool.
I'm afraid that you won't find many, highbrow people in the town. It is but a small spot, but one day it will be better, I think.
Sound like Rhyll's a bit restricted, so isn't there, what, with the walls and stuff?
Oh, yeah, symbolism, I suppose, of the old days when we were afraid of everything that was strange or new. But now we are. He kind of looks around and everyone nods. We are working towards, being more like
how do you say, the betters in, the more enlightened places?
Not worried about anything out in the woods or anything like that on the road to Haven.
Philomena goes in, "Oh, Mr. Devon, you have been listening to the scary stories that they tell the children. That is exactly what the others want you to think, that it is dangerous. There is nothing in the woods. They say that so that you'll be afraid. And ultimately, even if there were things in the woods, then the canal is a better idea because we can avoid them. So their own stories are gestures poof nonsense."
Touche.
You make a very good point, Gunther. I'm quite beat. I think I'm gonna head to bed. I think.
Yeah, you look like you have traveled very far. Come by the shop tomorrow.
Very far.
If you need anything, our doors are open. And welcome to Rhyll.
Well, thank you, Gunther, and thank you to all of you for your courtesy this evening. I just drove over to the barkeep again. Another round for friends, but not for me. Settle my tab and head out into the night.
You get some pats on the back. I think 2 gold. Was it? Was it? No, it wasn't that much. Was it 2 silver? There is a difference between those two. Yeah, because the beer was very cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I was getting the nicer liquor.
Oh, okay. That was for you. So let's call it 6 silver total for 2 rounds for them and then 1 for you. Okay. Back at the somber. What was it called? The somber. I've got somber plum in my head.
Somber acorn.
Anything noteworthy happening there? Or are we just going to bed?
Jacob has been for the last, for the hour or 2 before going to bed, looking through the map, the old, as I dubbed it on my inventory, old sick Axis map. And he's mainly, he's just sort of looking around on it, but later on, he'll sort of start looking at tiny places, looking for if there's any named as well as maybe even unnamed, what are the smallest places that you can find, smallest realms, and any around Axis Mundi, any on the complete furthest away areas, and just sort of getting a little familiarity with those kind of things.
Okay.
Absolute the smallest you can see, whether it's the size of an island or whether it's the size of a cupboard, whatever is mapped, he's looking at them.
Okay, cool.
However many there are.
Yeah, so there's thousands of realms noted on the map, and then there are a number that have only one connection. And as you follow them through, you see that there are quite a number that only have one connection to one connection to one connection. So really out there realms. So I'll provide a list of these off game. But,
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, if there's something of note that you wanna
Yeah.
list me, that's fine. But like, I'm not expecting like a list. It's more just so that Jacob's familiar for
Yes,
them
okay.
future reference.
So you get a good idea of what the hard to reach or particularly distant realms are from the main
Yeah.
populated realms.
It's more for like when
if it
when
comes up in
Jacob
conversation.
feels like he wants to mention something
Okay,
later
cool.
on, then
Yeah.
he will be able to. Or
You
something.
get a pretty good idea. Unfortunately, you only have the names and the diagrams to go by, and the smaller the realm, the less detailed the little diagram.
And obviously outdated connections.
Yes,
but,
and
yeah.
there's also that matter. But yeah, you get a good idea of what these realms would be called.
He's just interested in them.
Temerity and Calbor.
Well, obviously, etiquette would dictate that Temerity lets Cowboy take the first bath. And while he's doing so, Temerity will take care of...
Temerity watches.
No, not at all. Tiny little
Oh, yeah.
nobodies is not an interest.
And then
Carl?
before bed, Jacob will just clean himself a little bit. So.
Okay, good. While the gnome is in the bath, Temerity will take care of his sword, making sure it's in like the peak quality condition, just really securing its like how nice it looks, its quality in general.
Yep.
And then he'll sheath it and then eventually get himself cleaned up. He's rather concerned about his hygiene, especially after trudging through a swamp and traveling for multiple days on row. And the sewer, yes.
Okay. Yeah, as far as infections go, your chest wound doesn't look any worse.
Good.
It doesn't look any better, but it doesn't look any worse. And
As long as it's not actively killing me, that's a win.
you get your sword into peak stabbing fare, just as you look up to see the sight of Calbor exiting the bathroom with a towel around his waist and his hair up in a towel.
Like a hand towel because it's really tiny.
All yours, Mr. Temerity. I'm just going to I think I'm just going to go to sleep if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. Have a good night.
Yes, and you, try not to, explore any sewers.
I do not plan to, but thank you for the advice.
He tucks in, and you just see him disappear underneath the covers in this little lump on this way too large bed. And
like a toddler who can't find the way outside of the blanket.
He's gonna wake up tomorrow in a panic. Yeah. You go, you bathe, you check on your wound. It's looking okay. Yeah, you're in a pretty nice, calm room. It's generally pleasant.
Hell yeah. It sounds so lovely, especially after travel. Sit in the nice hotel room.
Just the right amount of light coming from a little gas lantern on a little desk by the window fills the room with glowy, orangey goodness. And outside, you hear the very faint patter of tiny raindrops as they start to fall. Do you have any other intentions before sleep overtakes you?
This is basically the equivalent of talk dirty to me. I love calming scenes described.
All I heard then
I'm
was talk dirty to me.
It's fair enough. That's the funny bit.
It turns out that the haggard woman followed you back to the inn.
She gets third call in the bath then.
She gets to talk dirty to me.
So Temerity,
leave me money and leave.
Temerity and Calbor are drifting off to Snoozy Land, and Devon, you arrive back at your room and find Jacob observing his map.
Yes.
Anything else for Devon and Jacob?
No, just get himself quickly but thoroughly cleaned and on bed.
Okay, you Okay, yeah, you wash up, and Devon is going to bed too.
Yeah, if the bathroom is vacant when he stumbles back in, he's gonna get cleaned up and then probably pass out.
Yeah, so as you're heading up these rickety, creaky stairs, the bar's quite a bit quieter now downstairs, and you're looking down this long hallway. The bathroom is right at the end. You hear it unlock just as you're about to go into your room to get your stuff. And a dwarf walks out. And he gives you a nod as you pass. But something looks slightly familiar about him. You can't quite place it.
Okay.
He turns kind of sideways, his big guy, as he goes past you. And evening.
Evening.
Goes to carry on down the hallway. And then he turns at the bottom room by the stairs, inserts a key, unlocks, opens the door, and heads in. Bathroom's free.
Just gonna wander over to that door and loiter near it, listening for a few minutes.
Okay, you hear the noise from the bar below. You hear snoring coming from one of the rooms. You hear someone moving around in the room in front of you. Heavy tread footsteps. Grumbling of some kind. A sigh, and then the sound of wood creaking. Also the sound of a heavy thing going onto a soft bed.
I'll head back to my room and
Yeah, you find
for
Carl
the night.
equally curled up in cozy land, and you drift off into a very comfortable sleep. Carl and Devon, you just go straight into your sleep. Temerity, it's that dream again, I'm afraid. The sense of something trying to communicate with you, and it's trying to convey that it's being torn in two directions. One light, one dark.
Oh.
And it's almost like it's not pleading with you, but it's imploring you to help it.
I try to communicate. Just tell me how. I'm willing. I just don't know.
You hear as you see yourself now stood in a void, and before you can't make out what it is, but there's something glowing, something bright, and it's going dark, and then it's going light, and then it's going dark, and it's moving around like furtively and quickly. And you hear your voice echo in the void, and then you hear a scream and an enormous bang, like a loud explosion. And you wake up, and you can still hear screaming.
Oh.
Devon and
Discernible? No, fuck you. Discernible screaming? Or
you
like-
hear a woman scream coming from nearby, and you hear shouting down in the streets. Devon and Jacob, you hear the same.
Oh. What the hell's that?
Oh, I don't know, but I think we should probably go and find out. So running out the door, grabbing my loot and my rapier as I go.
as you rush out into the hallway, you see the door opposite you opening, and the sight of Calbor kind of sticking his head out.
Where's the screaming coming from? Can I jump out my window towards it?
Where is the danger? I wish to jump at it.
Yes. So as Cowboy opens the door, you'll see in the background Timurti jumping out without his sword because he's a good samurai.
So, okay, a couple things here. Firstly, Devon and Jacob, as you enter the hallway, you see Calbor. He opens the door. A look of just confusion and tiredness on his face as he looks up at you. To your right, you see a number of other doors opening, heads coming out, a woman, a man, whatever, and then the dwarf. His head pops out. What the hell was that? And general murmuring amongst the group. You look ahead and you see Temerity like rip open the curtains and look out. And Temerity, the sight that you see is a fire in front of you. You overlooking. You can see the river, and it's alight with the glow from this fire that is where the brewery stood only a few hours earlier.
Oh shit!
That sounds dangerous.
Do you still want to
Gideon
jump?
Filbers.
Well, I
Do I
told
still
you
wanna
there was
jump out the
some
window?
heist or
Yes.
something being planned. Something of the sort.
It's the heist that they planned on themselves. Yeah, you open
I heard right.
the sash. You climb out just as you hear Calbor behind you. Temerity, where are you going? So you drop down, and you see in front of you this just fire raging in the main building itself, and also the large metal towers, and they're basically gone.
Oh. Like they exploded? How'd the large metal towers disappear?
Sorry, not as in like they're teleported, but they're destroyed.
Yeah. Okay. So the large metal towers on the brewery are just completely destroyed.
There's remnants of them, but they're no longer standing tall.
Ah. Okay, you know what? I'll head there, see if anyone needs help, but ultimately I don't know if I can do anything about this. I have fucking hands, man. I'm not a wizard.
I like that. The jump out the window to help. It may not be as useful as I thought.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tried.
Do I see any buckets around?
So where you are you like rushing downstairs? I'm guessing.
Yeah, if I'm rushing downstairs, maybe to the outside, anywhere on the
Right.
way.
You just
looking for a
hear
bucket.
Calbor shouting, "He's jumped! Oh God, there's a fire! There's a fire! Everyone, there's a fire! Oh my God, there's a fire!" And the dwarf just says, "Fire! Oh!" and just runs down the stairs. You follow afterwards as you exit out onto the main road. You're very close to the brewery. You can hear the fire now clearly, the crackling pops of things exploding, and oopsie, who's messaging me? Yes, fire. So things. Damn it, Carl. I think it's Carl that said that. Sound of things exploding, little pssts and pops and little mini explosions. It's thankfully the brewery is fairly self-contained. The river and nearby, someone comes from one of the houses with buckets. There's a few buckets. They start handing them around to people. People start to go over to the river, scooping it up. The brewery is just fully engulfed at this point. Sorry, just bring that up. But it's spreading to the trees, but it's not yet reached any other buildings.
Yeah, did I find any buckets? Sorry.
Yes, yeah. There's someone who's handing
Yeah.
out buckets. People are going to the market and the
I'm
blacksmiths
running
and
to the
everywhere.
river and gonna try and help out.
Okay, you go ahead and start bucketing up. An informal chain gang starts to form of people passing buckets and running, getting more water, etc. Temerity, you are among the first on the scene. Is there anything in particular that you do?
Can I get the sense if there's anyone inside still, like in the blaze?
No, is the easy answer.
Yeah.
This is an old building filled with alcohol, and even though it primarily did ales and beers, it also did some other drinks, spirits, etc. You don't see anything that indicates that there is anyone in there. There's no screaming coming from the building. The screaming seemed to be coming from bystanders nearby.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an ear out just in case something piques my attention. But
Okay, cool.
I'll help.
How close are you? Are you observing from a distance, or are you having a proper look?
I'll have a proper look. I'm not too afraid about catching some flame.
Okay. The building itself is just now, as I say, fully engulfed, outlined entirely in flames. You can't really make heads or tails as to anything interesting. You do notice two things that pique your interest. The first is that how close the trees are to the brewery.
Oh, okay.
It just seems like it would be very good cover if someone wanted to, if you were planning on committing an act of arson, say, you would immediately have that as a point of interest based on your previous experience potentially committing arson.
Potentially. I would also use the time charge, but that's neither here nor there.
As you get closer to these big metal cylinders, you see that basically the top half of them is just gone, and it's torn and ragged metal around it, where it basically looks like a high pressure explosion had just blown out the top of these cylinders with them. But lower down, you see jagged cuts in the metal. 4 of them. Large wrens.
Like a claw?
Yes. They're all equidistant. They all move in the same direction. And they're all roughly the same length.
Any additional description? Like, is the metal charred slightly, or is there any other substance?
None that you can see at the moment, because it is very fiery. You can't get particularly close. But especially as the fire flickers behind it, you can easily see that these large gashes are lower down on both of the large metal storage units.
Are they going in or out? Where did the creature strike from?
It looks to you as if it was one... I don't know if I can show you. So one on the northeast face of the top tower, and then one on the north face of the bottom tower.
Okay.
So close to the
trees.
trees.
Probably strike
Once
simultaneously.
Jacob sees all the people, carrying the water, etc., he's gonna sort of drop that and try and find the rest of the pie.
Okay, Devon, what are you up to? Well, the brewery burns.
Looking around for Gideon Filbus.
Okay.
See if they had made their way home, or if they're sort of around.
So you find Giddy, and
And Philbus, after a while, you don't know obviously where they live, and last you saw them, they were partying it up in the in the pub. But the fire is starting to die down now, and you hear crying, like sobbing. It's quite odd as you see people start to stop focusing on the fire. And it will, it will be done, Deslin, don't worry. Stop focusing on the fire, which is now on its way out, and turn to this couple who are like walking up from the riverside shops on the west, and the man has his arms around the woman, and she is just sobbing and crying very earnestly and emotively. And as she passes you, and as everyone is gathered in this town in this one place, the moonlight still bright above, the sound of the fire still crackling, but not as fierce. You hear grumbling coming from the crowd, and you see a few familiar faces from the various establishments that you've been drinking in. And this little halfling woman being comforted by her, is her husband, she would have probably introduced him as, just drops to her knees, probably a bit too close to the fire, and just starts sobbing. You see a man walk past, in quite a hurry, long white robes, bald head, obviously a priest, and he starts talking to the couple. They seem to be alive, though obviously very upset.
Not for long if they're talking to talking to him.
Who is it they were talking to, sorry?
The priest, a priest approached them and started, put his arm around them and started talking to them.
Jacob's gonna try and find Temerity.
Okay.
And hopefully join with him.
You wander around for a while, weaving between.
I start looking for those guys as well once I've seen that Giddy and Philbus are safe.
So, Jacob, you see Temerity investigating these metal containers, and seemingly looking off into a tree area.
What's going on? What's happened?
Well, I mean, surprising no one, this seems to be intentional. Something with large claws, and looks like two of them. Also, if I was going to hide, and I was an amateur, I'd be over in those trees. So let's go investigate before they can scuttle away, you know?
Yeah, where's Devon?
Right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just wave him over and run.
Yeah.
So, okay. A couple of things. Yeah, so you go off and you're having a look at these trees. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for, Deslin?
Hooligans.
Hooligans?
Yeah, I guess.
You
And
both
just,
said hooligans.
I think we'll just head into them, right? Like
Bloody youth.
Yeah. Ultimately, anything suspicious, but, you know,
head
especially
in, like,
when it looks like a motherfucker.
Okay.
Jacob's gonna like spread out like at least like 10-15 feet away, you know, like cover like slightly wider area, kind of thing.
So you head into this tree line, and it's not deep. It's not like a proper forest. It's just a selection of trees that grow either side of the wall. And you're looking for prints or signs of activity or anything like that. And you don't find anything immediately. Can I get a perception or an investigation, whichever you prefer, off anyone who is further
Perception.
investigating or perceiving?
I like to persuade the forest to tell me its secrets. I'll help
Using your
whoever's
fist in this.
investigating.
Okay. Well, Carl's got pretty good perception.
I'll help
Sure.
him with that then. Well, it looks like he doesn't need it.
Yeah. So you follow this tree little forest all the way back until you reach the wall on the north side. No sign of anything aside from a few small animals. There's some nests of birds, some rubbish that's just been dumped. But you do
Well, I'm
notice
sad we don't have a druid. That way you could give like a squirrel like a mob boss voice.
There's still time. But you do notice that there is, on the back wall, a dilapidated area that's broken through. It's not a massive gap, but you could fit 2 people abreast through it. That's where
Okay.
some of this wall's crumbled away over the years.
One beefy claw creature.
I whistle the others over.
Is it the whistle?
That didn't pick
I
up.
think I hear
but
that.
Probably.
The scary forest whistle. You'll move over. You see this hole in the wall. You're having a look at it when you hear the sound of shouting coming from back by the brewery.
What type of shouting?
Angry shouting.
We'll go there
Accusatory
then.
shouting.
Jacob's gonna hesitate for a minute, and he's gonna like look through the hole.
Okay.
And just like, I don't know, for like 30 seconds, just like peek through it and just like observe, see if it catches any movement, anything at all,
Okay. So as the
any
others
any sounds.
start to move off, you approach this hole. Dark, gnarled roots behind it of these ancient forests and trees and whatnot. And you put your hands either side of it as you kind of lean a little bit. Your head is basically in the wall at this point, or in the depth of the wall. And you look out and you strain your eyes. It's thick woodlands, not much light is getting through. And you wait for something to move or something to happen. And nothing does. There's just darkness staring back at you.
He's gonna run back.
Okay, the party return to the brewery. Fire now is more or less out, and you see the site of Giddy just screaming at the tall man, the tower from earlier. A group seems to be forming behind each of them, with Giddy yelling, screaming, in fact, just accusing him of being responsible, effectively. Just asking, why did he do it? What did they do to him? He could have killed someone. He's destroyed their livelihood. Things that I'm not going to try and attempt to do in a halfling woman's voice while she's very upset.
Is there like a town guard or something? Or is that us at the moment?
So you did see the guard that you saw by the gate earlier. He was like at the head of the bucket brigade. But it's not a guardhouse specifically how you might be anticipating guards to be. So it's not a big city guard.
More like a
It's not
patrolman.
a harbour
way,
guard.
right?
It's like the local patrol.
Watchman. Yeah.
They they don't have assault rifles and bazookas.
Remind me to add in bazookas to the guards in the city. It's effectively just someone from the town who has that job and reports into a sheriff, more or less.
Okay, well, if the sheriff's not in the scene, I'm gonna, like, maybe not interpose myself quite yet. I want to try to hear some sort of a rebuttal but
Okay.
I'm gonna put a stop to it soon.
So Taro is saying he didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You're mental.
Good one.
Yeah, could have just. I've been busy. I've got witnesses. Usual denial stuff. The priest.
Does he seem to be telling the truth?
You could attempt to get some insight on that matter.
What, you like just with this motherfucker like an hour ago? When was that? I mean, I guess Timothy doesn't know that, but
So you don't get the sense that he's lying. Certainly, he's offended at the accusation and not happy with it. But equally, he's perhaps not taking it as seriously as he should, given that there has in fact been a large explosion and someone is very, very upset.
I mean, sometimes people can seem like they're not taking it seriously, but they're just flustered, and the defense mechanism is to fall back on cocky. So
Cocky is definitely a good term to use to describe his. And you see the older man kind of putting his hand.
This
on his
is
shoulder.
Taro, not Barley, yeah?
So Taro is the younger one. Barley is the older man. His father, as you learnt from the lady of the evening earlier, puts his hand on the younger man's shoulder, and you can hear Devon from where you are. You can say that. That's enough, boy. Shut your mouth. And the priest comes in between the two groups and is trying to calm the situation. What does
Timothy would join him. Timothy is large and is basically going to
with
try
a
to
big
back
sword?
up the priest.
Oh, you left the sword.
Yeah, I'm not visibly armed except for my 15 daggers, but
Just open the coats and show everyone the daggers like a flasher. So the priest is just as these embers of the fire reflect on his bald, shiny head. This large, rotund, friendly. I think I chose a friendly picture for him in the AI thing. Yeah. He's a chubby, friendly-looking priest guy. Now, everyone, please. There's no need for this. Accusations will just drive us further apart. Let us just be thankful that no one was harmed.
Timothy thinks this guy is a fiend or a devil of some description because he has way too many fingers.
Hey, it's AI art, okay? I can't do fingers.
Just saying, if the hands are fucked up, that's normally a sign. If they're backwards, it's a rock Sasha. Yeah. Timothy will back him up. Just be like, calm down, panic is not going to help anybody. Let's get a proper investigation in here.
One of the people from the crowd shouts out, "And who are you? Strangers coming to town and buildings start burning down. And I saw them running. I saw them running right round the corner. While everyone else was helping."
I point to him. I say, "Shut up." Yes, we are strangers, which makes us perfect to investigate the situation. We are a third party, and we can look at it objectively and find the truth.
Another person, a woman's voice, shouts out, "Yeah, perfect for burning down buildings."
I'll burn down your house, you're gonna shut up. No, I'm kidding.
I'm coming for you next. The priest holds out his hand and says, "Friends, please, there's no need for this. Let us not drive out these strangers. We have no reason to believe that they mean us any harm." And
In fact, we are trying to help you.
angry grumbling on both sides. They seem to be ignoring the priest, turning towards you, and you hear a few more just shouts and accusations. "I saw them hanging around with those lot at the Nag's shin. And I saw them laughing with your lot."
and calling everyone names. They're in on it. They're in cahoots. And just...
Excuse
a
me, are you
jumble.
going to prove what you're accusing us of?
We don't have to prove anything.
Yes,
It was
you
fine
do.
before you came here. Grumble, grumble,
What is this,
grumble.
America? Yeah, prove it.
Angry. And then
Is Taro still there?
Taro is still there, but he's just continuing to shout and point fingers. But now he seems to be pointing them at you.
Okay. Well, I walked straight up to him, and I
Punch him in the
I
throat.
put my hand on his shoulder, and I say, Taro, I strongly suggest that you tell the truth about what's happened here tonight. And Taro, make a wisdom saving throw, please.
He can.
Yes.
Didn't you almost pick calm emotions? That would be fantastic. I know.
That would have been really good right now, but no, I didn't.
How many people can you cast
Yeah.
that on?
Pardon?
How many people
Oh, well,
can you cast
I
calm
am
emotions
just
on?
suggesting that Taro tell the truth, but yeah,
he
calm
rolls a,
emotions is
he rolls a 12, by the way. Sorry.
he fails.
Yes.
Okay.
It is 14.
So as you say, you should tell the truth. Okay, I get it. You hear more angry shouts, as if he knows what the truth is. He's a liar. He'll never tell the truth. Can't trust what he says. But then also from Taro's side, you hear, "Why should he? Who are you? Get out my face," kind of thing. Why don't you piss off? This doesn't concern you. It's getting more aggravated as Taro looks up at you and looks over at his father, who is confused as to what you're doing, but nods at Taro as Taro just quietly says, "I didn't do it." Anger continues to build. The fire's out, but the noise is just becoming louder and more aggravated. You get the sense that you've all felt before, that there is imminent danger. When you hear from, by the priest, aloud, "That's enough," as the dwarf steps forwards. And he points over at you guys. They were in the inn. They can't have had
You
anything
were
to do with it.
too. Oh wait, sorry, he's covering us. I'm sorry.
He's helping us.
Carry
Yes,
on,
shut
carry
up,
on,
Jacob.
carry on.
What are you doing?
Carry on.
Jake
Carry
just
on.
immediately goes, "You can't trust this man."
He's
He's a liar.
Jacob opens his mouth and then he realizes what the dwarf is saying.
No. We'll stop with this arguing, won't we? And the one side, the side that's opposed to Taro, settles down a bit, but Taro's side keeps going louder, shouting at this dwarf the same things they've been shouting at you. "Piss off. You're not welcome here. We don't care what you think."
There's been enough tragedy tonight. Can we all calm down a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who the dwarf is. But let the proper authorities handle this and don't make their job any worse. I like to roll a persuasion if I can.
Go for it,
to
yeah.
influence you. Okay. Hey!
Oh,
wow.
Double that 20!
Shit.
Nice.
The dwarf.
Everyone goes home.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
best friends now,
Alright, fair enough,
and you've
understandable.
fixed
Everyone
all
gives
the
me 50
problems
gold each and
in
we
Rhyll.
leave.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Understandable, bye.
Yeah, the dwarf steps forward. "He's right. That's enough." And
bunch of people on both sides start to nod. Barley, the older man who stood by a tarot, starts to turn around and says to the people with him, "Go home, basically. We'll deal with this in the morning when we can investigate, blah, 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 blah. There's no need for further aggravation." And an angry but satisfied for now crowd disperses behind each of the primary individuals that we've been talking about, until there's a skeleton group of people huddled around the now smouldering ruins of the old brewery.
Mr. Dwarf, are you the sheriff here?
The sheriff? No. I'm an engineer. Barley's the name. Barley Silverstreak. And he offers
Do we recognize that name?
a meaty hand. One of you should recognize that name.
I
Or at
reckon.
least the surname. A meaty
Wow.
hand clad with various rings reaches out to you.
No, I give him a firm handshake.
As does
Yeah.
Devon. It's a long look at this dwarf's face as he shakes his hand.
It does look familiar.
He does.
Well, sheriff or not, at least you have a level head on your shoulders.
What was the name again, sorry, sir?
Barley. Barley Silverstreak. Engineer.
Barley.
Eh? Barley.
Barley.
Barley. He's looking a
Because
bit
she's looking between
smiling,
What?
smiling over at Temerity. That is your friend okay?
A bit confused is a good way to describe Devon here.
He usually is.
Usually, it's
Hey.
confusing night.
That's the same name as Taro's dad.
Oh no, Barley, Balli, but he's got a
B.A..
bad Scottish accent, so it sounds like
He's got a
barley.
little.
Barley. Oh, Barley.
Barley.
I'll let you type it down. Bali. Bali!
Barley.
Okay. We should probably see to the victims here, but is there a proper sheriff? I have discovered some things that might help them.
In these parts, no. It's mostly self-contained, if you catch my meaning.
Right.
The weirdest thing I could possibly
engineers.
do, I take
Is-
Jacob's hat,
what
put it on
sort
the
of
book. You're the sheriff
authority
now.
is there? Is
So-
there any form of authority around here?
Well, there's the wizard and the priest.
Right.
Those two tend to, handle anything
Under social.
requiring learned men.
Right.
Okay.
If
Where's the
there's,
priest gone? we
Priest
say?
is comforting the halflings.
Good.
If you're looking to arrest anyone, then the sheriff comes through once, twice a month.
Right.
Well, maybe we can have a nice present for him when next he comes.
I can pretty safely tell that Taro didn't do it.
You're
Yeah,
sure?
whatever. Oh, he doesn't strike me as the type of kid to have giant claws.
Giant.
Wait, sorry,
Giant
Not to
giant
mention,
Yeah,
it seems
I
to
don't-
either two of them or it moved very quickly to strike two locations. So things
Yeah,
are
I'll be honest.
discussed with
I've
the
not paid any
detective, but
attention to anybody
if that is
standing
you-
around here.
then welcome to the case, Mr. Barley.
Yeah.
Uh,
What Mary showed me over there is quite well. Do you want to have a look?
Okay. I mean, I am just an engineer. I'm just here to build the bloody canal.
Oh,
Oh, you must be
that's
popular
right.
in
That's
town.
right here.
Well, Initially, no, but after a few black eyes, I seem to have gained some respect.
Right.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. Well, if you're interested in helping us, be happy to have you along. If not, thank you for calming down the crowd there.
I'll stick with you for a while. See what these claws you're talking about are. You may need someone to vouch for you again.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
I'll
Speaking of
s-
vouching for us, let's talk to the priest.
Yeah, we'll start walking over there. Oh, by the way, when are
Sorry,
you
go on.
building? You can like a team of people to build a canal, or what's the
I missed the start of that question then. Sorry, Carl.
when are you building?
Oh, we've been building for months. We're only 2
Oh,
miles
right.
from town, but we've had to lay down tools. There's been some sabotage.
What kind of sabotage?
The kind that a pissant kid who thinks that he's bigger than his britches does in the darkness of night.
Right.
But he looks over at Devon. I think you may be right. Even that idiot Taro, he wouldn't do something like this.
Taro was
Sabotage against-
that loud individual in
The
the
loud,
pub, right?
yobbish fellow who's very
Yeah.
not a fan of the canal.
Yeah.
You
The
say you've had
revolutionary.
sabotage before. Has that mostly been against the actual construction work itself?
Aye, the canal.
The first time that it's overflowed to supporters of the canal rather than the canal itself.
That would seem to be the case. Town's been on simmer since I got here, but even though they disagree, they're all still neighbours. It's not a big enough place to have, violent grievance. Everyone knows everyone. It would be a shame if things did turn to destroying livelihoods.
Yeah. Oh, hey, hey, priest. What was your name? I'm sorry.
He gonna just whisper something to Giddy. Stands up, dusts.
Tell anyone I'll kill you.
This was a warning. Oh, hello. Yes, I do apologize for the way you've been treated so far. I'm Father Alba.
Albert. Wait, Albert? Like that? Or...
ALBA. Sorry, I'm picking.
Oh,
purposely,
Alba. Right. Okay.
Easily misconstrued thing.
Oh, well, it just looks at Temerity. Well, we got a Temerity here found something.
Yeah, we do plan to investigate this on behalf of the halfling couple there. With initial investigations, I found some claw marks, some rather dangerous looking ones.
Yeah, I found
Two
a
different
hole in
parts.
the wall that seems to have been there a while, just past these woods over there.
Claw marks.
Yeah.
Very strange. Please
Through sheer metal, mind you.
do show me.
All right then, right this way.
We'll lead them.
Yeah. Also, I recommend nobody goes in to this building until we can vet there's no creatures in there.
And obviously the fire's fully out.
Yeah. Both.
Very sensible. Very sensible of you. I will ensure that it is done. Let's see these claws. And as he approaches the big metal cylinders, You can get closer now. He holds his hand out, and he kind of gets a sense of how big they are compared to his fingers. Oh my, this is most concerning.
Yeah, just past those woods over there. I don't know if you're aware, but there is a hole in the wall. It was big enough for me to stick my head through, and
A
I
hole.
didn't say anything. But yeah,
And
I believe anybody could just wander in.
the dwarf, hearing about a hole in the wall, goes off ahead, and you hear some expletives.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't go alone. I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah. Somebody goes with the dwarf, at
Yeah,
the very least.
it's not a deep thing. Everyone's within shouting distance of each other, at least.
Yeah, but I'm not leaving him alone.
So you form like a trail of people going through this woods, and the dwarf is just hands on his hips, looking at this hole, cursing under his breath. It just bloody shoddy work. How does
What does it
no one
look
notice
like to
this?
you?
It looks like
how's it?
decay. You can see the rocks have
Okay.
fallen in a inward and outward. It's not been knocked over by the looks of it. And the top
So
of
it's
the wall
been
is
here a
still
while.
intact, so I'd guess it's subsidence.
Does it look out of place, like it was hit with a concentrated decay? Or is this some...
That's a very good question.
Any extra cracks or anything that like around it that would
Well,
suggest
he-
that it's just a weak part of the wall?
Has a wander around, and as he's kind of having a look, like here. Oh, this is interesting. Chisel marks.
Oh,
Someone's been having a go at this here wall.
awakening it?
That would seem to be not an efficient way to do it, but quiet, I suppose.
subtle?
Well, relatively. Would have taken
And I assume time consuming.
an engineer. It would take several hours just to get through enough to do any weakening. A layman, probably days.
We're looking like from the inside of the town,
Yeah.
right? On the wall.
And that's what the chisel marks are on your side of the wall.
Is
So
there
from
any
the
way you're
inside
able
out.
to determine when this caved in, this hole? Any idea? Is
He
it recent? Or...
Picks up a rock and looks at the underside of it. Well, there's no new mold growth. Moss, sorry. And the earth underneath is still soggy. A month at most.
Nice investigative work then.
Does it look fresh, like
I'm
maybe
doing
the...
a pot.
Does it look fresh, like the blast from the fire shook it loose and made it collapse?
No, is the answer. Well,
Okay,
this
it's been
has
there for a
been
while.
here for a while. If I had to guess, I'd say likely between 3 and 6 weeks, but closer to 3.
Okay, so about...
Somewhat recent, but not tonight.
How long have you been building this canal here?
We got within the range of town to the point where we stopped staying at the camp. Well, I stopped staying at the camp, got a good bed. About a month or so.
3 to 6 weeks.
Aye,
Within the time frame.
you don't.
Sorry,
s-
What would be the correlation?
Not trying to make an accusation. Just
Get him!
We're not-
The
yeah.
two actions.
We're not
could
making
be-
accusations, just correlations. Looking for.
Could be linked.
Aye, you have not offended me, boys. If I wanted this wall down, it wouldn't have taken weeks.
believe
Hell
that.
yeah, brother! I give him a high five.
Speaking of brothers,
I can imagine the priest looking at you weirdly.
Oh
Hi,
hell!
have you got a brother?
A brother? I've got, well, at least one that's still alive, but I had more.
Garum.
Same, actually.
Aye, you know him?
Yeah, I knew you looked familiar. Yeah, I spent quite a long time on board a ship with Garum.
A ship? Aye, that sounds like him. It's the old family nose. Is
Yeah,
he, still, into interesting business?
yeah, he was when I knew him. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to catch up once we've, seen the priest back to the church, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen my brother, but it'd be interesting to hear what he's up to lately. And the priest kind of looking around, like, but this is all, very strange.
Priestly man, can you see magic by chance?
Magic? No. You'd need, Isambard for magic. I tend to deal with the more,
Divine?
divine esoterica.
To continue on with this investigation, who do we are you a good person to contact, or shall we talk to the wizard, or shall we just figure this out on our own?
Well, if you need the population to, be helpful, if anyone is being intransigent with you, I am happy to put in a word on your behalf, on the assumption that you're here to help. He looks at your weapons and armor and very snazzy suit. You are an odd sort, but sometimes the strangers become fast friends. Don't they, Barley? Mm-hmm. And Barley gives a kind of uncommitted, like, making it clear he doesn't dislike the priest, but he doesn't know as he considers him a friend.
Yeah.
If you have questions around stranger affairs and things, then the wizard is probably your best bet.
Right. Well, anything you can help us with the populace is helpful. I guess we'll talk to the wizard tomorrow.
Of course. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, although I obviously wouldn't want to colour your investigation, if this were an outside influence, then that would be an enormous weight lifted from this community. I hate to think what would happen to this town if we turned on one another.
One of our main suspects so far would be outside, so... But I don't want to tell you too much at the moment until we learn more. We will be in touch, though.
If you need me, I'll be at the church.
I mean, yeah, if you could just talk to the residents, get them on our side. We are trying to help here.
I will make it a point of my sermon tomorrow afternoon. And he kind of gives a nod.
Appreciated.
And goes off back to the halfling couple as you approach the edge of the forest.
I had to try so hard though not to have temerity say thank you, Father, in Infernal.
Do you think it's possible that, I don't know, Matty Boy in the sewers, could something be turning the people of this town against each other?
It's the easiest way to destroy a town. Have it destroy itself. Anything is possible. I mean, with those claw marks, especially. The I don't think
just out
Timothy
of
would know what a
curiosity,
Wendigo is, but that creature in the
how
forest.
how large is this hole? Like, how big of a person or creature would be able to go
If
through
we were
it?
to categorize a person, a large being would be able to fit through with a little bit of
Okay.
bowing of the head.
What's the moon doing?
Okay. So it's like it's like a walkthrough for us.
I like your thinking there,
Angus, yeah.
Angus. Yeah.
What you say?
What that moon do?
The moon. The moon
Yeah,
is
I was thinking like,
rather full.
As I say, is the moon full as fuck?
It's
It
that kid who
is-
said he didn't do it. He was a wolf at the time. Kill him.
Technically,
moon's still there.
I didn't do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
My alter ego did.
You've got an actual law student wanting to fucking
I
read
did
law
your
student's providing
spell
magic.
wordings. Okay. Yeah.
Mm. Imagine the god
Most
of magic is just a law
ability,
student. Hmm.
Right.
Okay, so again, once more, these claw marks, are they inside or outside? I don't quite remember what you said. Like, which way are they bending? If the creature struck them, they'd be facing the opposite direction, right? So
But yeah, they were generally pointing northwards, right? So northeast.
So they were on the north side of the tanks, and they were from right to left.
right to left on the north side. Okay, does it look like the creature struck them from outside of the silo or from the inside of it?
Oh, sorry. From the outside, definitely.
Yeah, outside. Okay.
Yeah, the metal jags and sharp bits are going inward.
Has the fire calmed down enough where we could take a better look at it?
It's still warm to the touch, but you can get close enough.
Okay, I'll just take a quick look at it to see if I can find any additional information. Any sort of residue or, like, char marks that seem like they're not caused from the fire directly.
Okay. So you get up. You see that these gash marks do indeed seem to be going inwards, with the force of this, what seems very much like a claw that's gone across these silos, and it's very clean. The cut itself is jagged from the metal, but there's no gunk or ooze or liquids or solid materials in the claw marks.
It still looks natural though, and like uniform in that way. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like somebody just hit it a couple of times.
No, this was a significant amount of force that was used, and the span and the equidistance of the scratches. It looks very much like a large claw has done this to the silos.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I propose we finish our sleep.
Oh, I
and
accept,
pick
you
this up
beautiful
in the
bastard.
morning.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Talk to the wizard.
Yeah.
Post
We'll
haste.
have light of day on our side as well, so we can have a look around. The fire must be settled by then, and we can investigate further.
Okay.
Once we're out of earshot of the dwarf, man, and everyone else here is then immediately part of the party.
Yep.
Okay, so play both sides here. We aren't getting paid for this or anything, and it's not part of our contract. We could just leave if you guys want to.
We could. I mean, we want to talk to the wizard at some point anyway, don't we?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, this makes a great excuse, but you
great
know,
excuse.
I just
Well,
want to throw it
alright.
out there. I don't mind helping the little folks, but
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, I don't mind leaving. But see what's in it for us, I guess. If anything.
yeah, agreed.
If it gets too dicey and it's not worth it, we can always leave him to it. But
Yeah. Would be exactly bad PR for us either if we were to save a small town.
yeah.
Anyway,
I
I just
was-
wanted to throw it out there. I do want to help these
I,
people.
I was this close to leaving when they started accusing us, though.
I was like this close to being like, if you guys fight us, you will all die. But I wanted to go a little bit more gentle with it, you know?
It's like chucking daggers.
Yeah. I think I can manage a kill in action.
So you make your way back to your rooms. You find Calbor staring at the window. Over at where you all
find
were
them.
previously.
Man, Tim already want to do this, but I'd love to find like a bone mask to like break open the door and just scare the shit out of him.
So
Like,
mean.
gotcha!
Where's my
I've
money,
even wearing the
bitch?
black suit, it's perfect.
Oh, poor
Uh,
Calbor.
I'll play a trickster next.
And the dwarf heads back to his room, promising to catch up with you when you need him or tomorrow at some point to discuss his brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Being aware of the time, shall we draw to a close?
That would
Yeah,
be
let's get some-
good.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah,
So
pretty
you
decent.
crawl into your various beds, and everyone has a very fully resting sleep with a good bit of lying,
Yay.
except for
Yeah.
Temerity, who has the same dream with the same outcome. Effectively, this time not woken up by a scream, but woken up by the sound of Calbor rummaging around in his bag loudly and tutting,
Tutting.
as he is wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
And with that at coming up to 11:30, we'll leave it there. A somewhat less eventful and terrifying evening tonight, but we will have to see what next.
I was pretty
session
scared
brings.
we'd have to kill a whole town.
Not again.
That's not
Again.
scary. That's exciting.
Haven't done that since my early years.
Haven't done that since yesterday.
Cool, and we will pick up next session with trying to find the wizard and deciding whether or not you're going to help this suite down or leave it to its fate. Either choice is perfectly viable.
I look forward to having that.
And
Tiny
it
lives
comes
in
down-
our hands.
It comes down to like, do you save a town because you like the townsfolk or not? I don't know. It's kind of 50-50.
I mean,
What I
kinda
like the
half
most
the
is the-
townsfolk.
Yeah, I mean, I like the engineer, but he's not even a native. He's just He's temporarily in the town.
Yeah, I mean, if the town dies, then
if it
Probably not
dies,
great
it
for
dies.
probably not
It
great for the
dies, it
canal.
dies. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Hmm. Well,
either
yeah.
way, we'll pick up next week, and I believe for anyone who is there, Destin and I plan on streaming more Dark Souls on Friday. But thank you to anyone who's been joining us on our adventures today.
Thank you, people. Come back and see us again soon.
Yeah.
Hi, the stream is about to start, but for those of you who are new to us, here's a quick recap of the setting this game takes place in, and the story so far. There exist in this world thousands of individual realms, some as small as a room, others the size of entire galaxies. Each realm is unique, and many realms, though not all, are connected through rifts and portals in what is known as the Axis of Realms. Every 13 years or so, the Axis reconfigures itself. New realms connect in new arrangements, and some realms disappear from the Axis entirely. One realm, however, has been able to maintain relatively stable connections. That realm is where our adventure starts, the capital of the Axis, Aximundi. Our players find themselves brought together by the tides of fate as they travel through Aximundi and perhaps even realms beyond. The player characters that you'll be meeting in this campaign are Devon, a bard with golden hair and silver tongue who travels through the realms trying to make a name for himself. Before he took up the role of wandering bard, Devon belonged to a pirate crew who shared many a tale and even a secret or two with him in years past. Then there's Jacob, a smuggler with a mind of his own and a drive to find his place in the world. Despite his habit of solving problems with his fists, he generally prefers a life of peace and solitude, ideally with a pocket full of coin to keep him company. Lastly, Temerity, a roguish fighter with street smarts and friends in low places and enemies all around. Following a botched attempt at his assassination, he is determined to find out whether one of his foes just got lucky, or one of his friends has turned traitor. Either way, revenge is top of his mind. I'm Michael, your DM for this campaign, and this is the Axis of Realms. And here's what's happened so far in this chapter. The party began their adventure in the port town of Haven. While there, the adventurers have battled bandits, parleyed with forest spirits, and befriended a wealthy gnome, Calbor of Nim, who has commissioned them to escort him to Aximundi City, the most important city in all of the realms. The party planned to get there by taking the portal from the nearby town of Rhyll, on the way to which they encountered a mighty devil by the name of Lord Ursh, who along with his herald Brick demanded that Jacob forgive him, but for what he did not know. As they continued to Rhyll, the party stopped by Calbor the gnome's vineyard, discovering it to be infested with shadow creatures. In the process of defeating the fiends, the party played champion to a nearby orphanage that was similarly affected by demonic forces. There they befriended the fierce matriarch Elethria and the beautiful young Melody, who the party learned was gifted with the power of prescience and could read people's souls. Now the party continued to Rhyll and from there on to Aximundi. So join myself, Angus, Carl and Deslin as we proceed on the Axis adventures.